Chapter 1904. Why is the Immortal Graveyard called the Immortal Graveyard? This immortal graveyard has existed since the time of the Nine-Yang royal family. Who is the one who built this place? Qin Yun is very curious about this. In the following epochs, there were people who came to the immortal graveyard to seal things. For example, the Nine-Yang Divine Palace in the Heaven Creation City was once responsible for sealing things inside. The immortal graveyard was originally called the Heaven Burial Ground. The Dark Princess said, "It's also because most of the things sealed in this era came from the immortal desolate. That's why it's called that." Qin Yun said, "All right, then do you know how to find that place?" "I don't know." The Dark Princess shook her head and sighed. "That place is hidden very well. It's hard to find. I'm just worried that the Divine Universe Evil Dragon will find that place." Qin Yun said with a frown, "It's impossible for him to find it, right? Even if he finds it, it'll be difficult to enter." The Dark Princess nodded. "I hope so." Qin Yun thought of Siekaru. He planned to find her next. Siekaru brought Xiao Yuel on and Qi Melian over. They have 3 immortal graveyard diagrams in their hands, which are the key to entering the immortal graveyard. As for the specifics, Qin Yun is not sure. He can only find them. "Princess, I'm going to find someone." Qin Yun said, "I have to leave for a period of time. The situation in the Cloud Dragon Mountain range should be more stable. Even if the Divine Universe Evil Dragon comes to attack the Heaven Creation City, you should be able to block it, right?" "Who are you looking for?" the Dark Princess asked. "As long as I find her, I might be able to find the immortal graveyard." Qin Yun said. Siekaru knows about the Dark Princess and Qin Yun's past life. This is also one of the reasons why Qin Yun wants to find her. "I'll go with you," the Dark Princess said. "The Divine Inscription Mountain should be near the Heaven Creation City, right?" The Heavenly Lion King is in the Divine Inscription Mountain. If the Divine Universe Evil Dragon comes, the Heavenly Lion King will also fight." Qin Yun nodded. The Dark Princess sighed softly. Her beautiful and ice-cold face is filled with conflict. She said, "Forget it, I'm not going. Before I seal Shen Yuxialong, my position as the Palace Master will not be passed on." Her mission was to protect Heaven Creation City, and now Shen Yuxialong's whereabouts were uncertain. It was very likely that they would attack the city, so she needed to stay here to control the formation. "After all, you are the Creator Heaven Palace Master. You have a great responsibility." Qin Yun smiled and said, "Don't worry. If I know where the immortal graveyard is, I will come and find you." "All right," the Dark Princess said. "Only by entering the immortal graveyard and recovering my lost memories can I become the true Nine-Yang Divine Maiden." Before she regained her memories, she was still the Dark Princess of the Dark Royal family. Qin Yun also needed to retrieve his memories. They were memories that concerned his past lifetimes. He suspected that he didn't only have Nine-Yang Divine King and Floating Cloud Immortal King in his past lives. Perhaps he had more before this. After all, the Nine Sun Sky region had a very long history, and there were many epochs before it. He already had 3 lifetimes in this era. Qin Yun left the Heavenly God Palace and went to find his old friends like the Immortal Desolate Holy Master and the Immortal Desolate Dragon Emperor. After chatting with them for a while, he left the Heaven Creation City and returned to the mysterious Divine Mountain. Originally, Qin Yun planned to bring Long Yuqing and Xiao Yuemei with him. However, these 2 girls who like to go wild actually didn't plan to go with him. Instead, they wanted to stay at the mysterious Divine Mountain and help increase Titan's fighting strength. Xiao Yuemei's small mirror has many martial spirits. She planned to use her small mirror to let Titan gain more power in battle. Long Yuqing is a heavenly dragon god, and she is also a very strong dragon. She felt that if she cooperated with Titan, she might be able to turn Titan into a great strength dragon god. At that time, his fighting strength would be even stronger. Shimon also had a very bad idea. He wanted Naughty Pig to cooperate with him. When Titan fought, he could fart to attack the enemy. The mountain god felt that he could give it a try, because Naughty Pig's smelly fart is indeed very strong. It is a powerful move that can kill without spilling blood. The members of the mysterious divine inscription gate suddenly had a strange idea and discussed how to make Titan stronger. Yi Shaosong felt that he should make a powerful weapon for Titan. He also planned to personally design the shape of the weapon and then refine it together with everyone. Because Qin Yin wanted to find Xie Keru, he handed over this matter to them. The level of the mysterious divine inscription gate's inscription masters is pretty good. Moreover, they have enough materials, large amount of holy oil and sacred flame great formation. It is enough for them to refine huge and powerful weapons. Now the mysterious divine inscription mountain can take charge of an area alone. Therefore, Qin Yun is very relieved to leave and peacefully become a sect master. Ling Yuner said with smile, Xiao Yun, when you return, maybe the mysterious divine inscription mountain will become even stronger. Qin Yun is inside the sky leaping shuttle, looking at the soul-chasing talisman in his hand. Aunt Xiao is also here. Qin Yun put some soul-chasing talismans together. Xiao Xinqin, Xiao Yuelan, Qi Meiyan, Xie Keru, and Yang Shuriwei have all experienced reincarnation. Moreover, they were all born next to the Cloud Dragon Mountain range. Sister Kiru brought them here. Could it be that she has some other purpose? Qin Yin said with frown. We will know when we find them. Ling Yuner said. The sky-leaping shuttle flew for more than half a day. When night arrived, Qin Yun saw that the soul-chasing talisman on the table reacted. Yang Shuriwei and Xian Rujing's soul-chasing talisman suddenly became brighter. Moreover, they are in another direction. What's going on? They are suddenly very close to me. Are they not with Sister Kiru? Qin Yin said in shock. They must have been teleported away. Ling Yuner said, This happened suddenly. Could it be that they stepped on some mechanism and were teleported away? I will quickly go and ask them. Qin Yun controlled the sky-leaping shuttle and flew towards Yang Shuriwei and Xian Rujing. At the same time, he paid attention to the movement of Xie Keru and Xian Rujing's soul-chasing talismans. On Xie Keru's side, Lu Yu and Shu Yin, this killing god, are following her, so Qin Yun is not very worried. Yang Shuriwei is also a very powerful immortal emperor. Moreover, she has the ice snow goddess Xian Rujing by her side. Even if she is in danger, she can still resist and escape. After Qin Yun and Xian Rujing arrived, the space around the Cloud Dragon Mountain range suddenly strengthened, making it impossible to use space transmission. Back in Creation Heaven City, Qin Yun asked Zhang Shengxian about it. Since Creation Heaven Mansion can use space transmission, he only knew that there is a special space barrier in Creation Heaven Mansion. Because time was too tight, he did not ask to check the barrier. Big Sister Yang and Ice Snow Goddess suddenly teleported away. Were they teleported away by teleportation formation or by some kind of power? Qin Yun is somewhat worried in his heart. Cloud Dragon Mountain range is very large. Qin Yun flew for more than half a day, but he is still very far away from Yang Shuriwei and Xian Rujing. Ling Yuner said, Why did Sister Kiru and Xian Rujing run so far away? What are they doing? They don't have a complete immortal graveyard diagram. They should not be looking for the immortal graveyard land. Could it be that they are looking for something else? Qin Yin said, Sister Kiru knows about the Dark Princess past life. She must know a lot of things. Sister Kiru is too much. After seeing her, you must ruthlessly rub her cheeks. Ling Yuner said with charming groan. If you don't rub her cheeks, she will turn back into an adult. Even if she turns back into an adult, I will still rub her cheeks. Qin Yun said with smile. Early morning, 3 suns slowly rose up in the sky. The 3 suns still look very exuberant. They don't look like they are about to fall down. However, sooner or later they will fall down and undergo nirvana rebirth. Sky's soaring shuttle is flying in the sky, bathed in the early morning sunlight. Qin Yun is sitting in the main control room of Sky's soaring shuttle, looking at the beautiful morning glow on the horizon. After flying for a whole night, Qin Yun still has not seen Yang Shuriwei and Xian Rujing, but he is very close. Qin Yun has been looking ahead. Suddenly, a sparkling and translucent huge mountain appeared in the distance ahead. It is flashing with sparkling and translucent light, reflecting the early morning glow. That mountain looks like it is lingering with gentle, light, golden light. There's also a burst of beautiful golden mist revolving around it. It is very beautiful. It suddenly appeared. It looks very beautiful, but it is also very unusual. That is an ice mountain, Qin Yun said with frown. Ice Snow Goddess must have released a crystal ice mountain while fighting. Qin Yun heard from Xiao Yuelon that Xian Rujing's crystal ice mountain is very strong. It can absorb sunlight and condense it into very strong power. He immediately increased the speed of Sky's soaring shuttle and flew forward. He also tightly grasped the floating cloud rod in his hand. While Sky's soaring shuttle is flying over, he suddenly saw a huge purple-red moon floating in the sky, then ferociously smash down on the ground. Sister Yang's moon. How did her moon become purple-red? Qin Yun immediately felt fear and trepidation because that purple-red light is similar to divine universe purple cloud. Yang Shuriwei is also participating in the battle. After Sky's soaring shuttle approached the battlefield, it entered a burst of frantic energy wave. Even though it is flying in the sky, Sky's soaring shuttle is unceasingly attacked by those energy waves. It is like a small boat entering a sea filled with gale and waves. It is very difficult to move forward. What is going on? Qin Yun is endlessly apprehensive. Yang Shuriwei and Xian Rujing's power is actually so formidable. He doesn't know who they are fighting. Qin Yun had no choice but to leave Sky's soaring shuttle. He stored it away and used sacred light, transforming pupil, to fly over. Formidable moon power and ice power erupted at the center of the battlefield. These two powers are fiercely colliding. After approaching the battlefield, Qin Yun is very suspicious in his heart because only Yang Shuriwei and Xian Rujing's power aura can be felt here. Very soon, Qin Yun approached the battlefield and immediately became stunned. It was a battle between two peerless beauties in white dresses. Unexpectedly, Xian Rujing and Yang Shuriwei are fighting. Their cold and elegant face is very solemn. Apparently, they are seriously fighting. Chapter 1905. Qin Yun is burning with impatience because Xian Rujing and Yang Shuriwei are fighting very seriously. It doesn't look like they're training. It looks like they want to defeat each other. Xiao Yun, even though they are fighting, I can't sense any hatred between them. This is very strange. Ling Yuner said. Indeed, why are they fighting? Qin Yun can also see that although Xian Rujing and Yang Shuriwei's expression are ice-cold, their eyes are very calm. The power they burst out with is very strong. It looks like they want to exterminate each other, but their mood does not contain any malice. Don't fight. What exactly is happening? Qin Yun anxiously yelled. He is also considering whether or not to go over. Yang Shuriwei and Xian Rujing are still fighting very fiercely. They're exchanging all kind of big moves. Qin Yun feels that if Xian Rujing and Yang Shuriwei join in the fight against Divine Universe Evil Dragon, they might be able to capture it. Qin Yun doesn't know how to get involved in the fight against these two women. He doesn't want to see Xian Rujing and Yang Shuriwei kill each other. He anxiously rushed over. Xiao Yun, don't come over. Yang Shuriwei suddenly sent sound transmission to Qin Yun. We are fine. You watch from the side, be vigilant, don't get sneak attacked. Xian Rujing also sent sound transmission to Qin Yun. Qin Yun is dumbfounded. He really can't understand what these two women are doing. They are fighting to the death, yet they say they are fine. Then what exactly are you two doing? Qin Yun did not continue to go over. He just watched from the side and raised his vigilance. We are baiting the enemy. Hide yourself. Don't get involved by any means. Even if both of us are seriously injured, you must remain calm. Otherwise, everything will be for naught. Yang Shuriwei sent sound transmission to Qin Yun. Qin Yun is baffled. He can only hide himself and watch from the side. Qin Yun is very familiar with the battle skills Yang Shuriwei is using. Heaven Extermination 9 style, Heaven Extermination 9 fingers, they're all related to 9 Extinction Heart Sutra, as well as Heavenly Might Dao Technique. Xian Rujing also obtained Heavenly Might Dao Technique in the past. When she fought against Yang Shuriwei, she also used it. This is the first time Qin Yin saw these two women fight so fiercely. Normally, they are both delicate beauties, especially the ice goddess Xian Rujing. In order to obtain the sun-suppressing divine arrow, she was extremely charming in front of Qin Yin. Xiao Yun, there might be something hidden in the vicinity. Ling Yun said, Xiao Yun, there must be something hidden in the vicinity. Qin Yun hid in the distance. He was secretly worried as he watched the shocking battle in front of him. These two peerlessly beautiful women were so powerful. Normally, if one saw them, one would definitely not be able to tell that they had such great power. Yun. Xian Rujing suddenly summoned two snow woman immortals with head full of white hair and wearing snow-white beautiful long skirt. Snow Woman Immortal looks exactly the same as Xian Rujing. Her long legs are faintly discernible under her long muslin skirt. Her pair of dainty and beautiful jade feet are floating in the air. Her arms are lightly dancing and releasing a burst of hailstorm and snow. Suddenly, Qin and Yu Xiao, and suddenly appeared, and suddenly, Hiyut. Tian ice, and suddenly, the ice, and shied Yang. Yang Shiryu was not to be outdone. Suddenly, two balls of light appeared behind her. As the two balls of light flickered, they emitted a melodious, singing sound. Hearing this, Qin Yun's vision suddenly turned blurry. He almost fainted. This is actually a kind of mental attack. Two beautiful women wearing noble purple skirt suddenly flew out from the two light balls behind Yang Shiryu. They have a pair of wings and pointed ears. They are actually two fairies. Two beautiful women wearing noble purple dresses suddenly flew out from the two balls of light behind Yang Shiryu. They both had a pair of wings and pointed ears. They were actually two elves. What surprised Qin Yin was that these two beautiful elves with voluptuous figures looked exactly the same as Yang Shiryu. Moon fairies! Ling Yin delicately yelled. Big Sister Yang can actually summon two moon fairies. So beautiful. They are moon elves. Ling Yin shouted. Big Sister Yang can actually summon two moon elves. So beautiful. After the moon fairies appeared, they immediately joined the battle and released formidable mental power attack. After they released formidable mental power attack, they directly controlled the two Snow Woman Immortals. After they released their powerful minds, they were able to control the two huge ice and snow tornadoes from a distance. Xian Rujing gritted her teeth and lightly shouted. Ice-cold energy violently rushed out from her body. Sparkling and translucent flashes suddenly appeared in the sky. Qin Yin looked at the sky and saw a large amount of crystal-cold ice condensed into arrows and suddenly enveloped them. Yang Shiryu and the two moon fairies concentrated their mental power together and controlled the crystal-cold ice to attack Xian Rujing. Tricked! Xian Rujing sneered, and the crystal-cold ice suddenly exploded. The exploded crystal-cold ice contained mental power attack. Yang Shiryu and the two moon fairies immediately frowned. It is clear that their mental power is being attacked. Moon Sea capturing heaven. Several hundred purple-red moons suddenly appeared in the sky above Yang Shiryu. Although they are not big, they're very scary. Qin Yin repeatedly exclaimed in admiration, seeing this scene. This is the first time he saw Yang Shiryu fight with all her strength. Several hundred purple-red moons are attacking in the sky like waves, constantly changing position and enveloping Xian Rujing. Xian Rujing can only release a crystal ice mountain to cover herself. Boom, boom, boom. Large amount of purple-red moons kept smashing on the crystal ice mountain, exploding and releasing waves of ice crystals. Under Xian Rujing's control, those ice crystal fragments suddenly transformed into a huge ice sword and pierced towards Yang Shiryu. Several hundred moons suddenly fused together and transformed into a huge purple-red moon. Then it ferociously dropped towards Xian Rujing's crystal ice mountain. Boom! Boom! Xian Rujing's crystal ice mountain was smashed into pieces by the huge moon. And the huge moon blocking in front of Yang Shiryu was also pierced by the ice sword. The Snow Woman Immortal and moon fairies they summoned suddenly disappeared. These two city-destroying beauties have been injured by that formidable attack. Blood is flowing out of the corner of their mouth. They are floating in the sky. Two pairs of ice-cold, beautiful eyes are looking at each other. Just their cold gazes alone seem to be able to create an iceberg. Although Qin Yun is earnestly watching the battle, he is still very vigilant. Suddenly, he sensed something. A burst of weak spatial fluctuation appeared. This spatial fluctuation is very weak. If Qin Yun was not sensitive to spatial power, he would not have sensed it. Two light beams came out of nowhere and shot towards Yang Shuriwei and Xian Rujing. In a split second, Yang Shuriwei and Xian Rujing threw a talisman at the same time and very accurately hit the white light beams. The two talismans in their hands are very dreadful. After they were thrown, the runes inside the talismans turned into chains, flickering with thunder and lightning and wrapped around the two white light beams. The two white light beams are very big. After being wrapped around, they began to frantically struggle. Are they using talisman tools? Qin Yun is extremely apprehensive looking at this scene. Xian Rujing and Yang Shuriwei are indeed luring something while fighting. Xian Rujing and Yang Shuriwei fought so fiercely just now. Their consumption is also very serious. They still have to keep releasing energy to strengthen the talisman tools. The things tied up by the talisman tools are two huge balls of white light. It is unknown what is inside. Kacha! Xian Rujing's talisman tools can no longer hold on. They are already showing signs of breaking. Yang Shuriwei's side is also the same. The thing they want to tie up is very strong. Qin Yun immediately rushed over and threw out two golden bright and dazzling ropes. These are dragon tendons taken from divine dragon corpses. They are very tough and durable. Qin Yun's action is very timely. The dragon tendons just wrapped around the two huge balls of white light, and the talisman tools on the talisman tools were jolted and snapped. Xian Rujing and Yang Shuyue's expression became grave. They urged their mental power with all their might and controlled the dragon tendons to contract. What are those things? Qin Yun hastily asked. He only knows that those two things suddenly broke through the space and came out. It is not easy to break through space inside the Cloud Dragon mountain range. Let's talk about it later, Xian Rujing said anxiously. Xiao Yun, quickly think of a way to trap those two things, otherwise they will run away again. Heavenly Lion Dragon Suppressing Cauldron? Qin Yun took out the Heavenly Lion Dragon Suppressing Cauldron and Heaven and Earth Devil Sealing Goblet. It won't do. These two things have very strong space-piercing power. They can run away. Xian Rujing said again. Qin Yun yelled. Bring them together. I will release a great formation. Yang Shuriwei and Xian Rujing immediately followed and controlled the two wriggling white light balls to collide together. 9 Dragon Rune Heavenly Sabers suddenly appeared and formed a 9 Dragon Heavenly Origin Formation. 9 Dragon Heavenly Origin Formation also has very strong space sealing power. Inside the 9 Dragon Heavenly Origin Formation, the two white light balls crazily collided. They want to break through the sealing barrier, but they did not succeed. Qin Yun still can't see what they are. He used Extinction Spirit Eye and can only see 2 huge water droplet-like objects fluctuating. Finally trapped, Yang Shuriwei let out a long sigh, then gently smiled at Qin Yun. Xiao Yun, if it were not for you, we would have failed again. Little brother Xiao Yun is very awesome, Xian Rujing said with charming smile. Qin Yun shook his head and smiled. These two beautiful women, just a moment ago, they were fighting to the death with ice-cold expression. Now they are actually as gentle as water, chatting and laughing. Qin Yun took out the Heaven-Leaping Shuttle and transferred the 9 Dragon Heavenly Origin Formation to the warehouse inside the shuttle. Then he brought Yang Shuriwei and Xian Rujing inside. Are you all right? Qin Yun asked. We are fine, Yang Shuriwei replied in soft voice, then smiled at Qin Yun and tied up her messy hair into a ponytail. Xian Rujing tied up her jet-black long hair in front of her chest. Both of them were fighting until their hair danced chaotically. Now they're looking at the 2 white light balls. Among the 9 Dragon Rune Heavenly Sabers, The two white light balls are more than 10 meters tall and are constantly colliding. Xiao Yun, is your barrier reliable? Xian Rujing somewhat anxiously asked. Of course, it is reliable. This is the Nine-Dragon Heavenly Origin Formation. Moreover, it is powered by Divine Universe Golden Stone. Qin Yun laughed. Chapter 1906. Yang Shuriwei said, "We're also not too clear. In short, Sister Kiru sent us to catch these things. We only know that these two things have been monitoring us." Xian Rujing lightly groaned and said, "There are many of these things inside the Cloud Dragon Mountain range." Many of these things? These things can travel through space. Qin Yun suddenly recalled something and asked, "Oh, that's right. What's going on?" "You've suddenly traversed through a very long space. It is very difficult to travel through space inside the Cloud Dragon Mountain range." Yang Shuryu pointed at the two white lights in the Nine Dragons' Heavenly Origin Formation and said, "At that time, Rujing and I were sucked into one of them. After we attacked inside for a while, we were taken out and then teleported a long distance. You pretended to fight. How did you manage to lure out these two things?" Qin Yun asked again. "These two things always wanted to devour us. They wanted to use our bodies to take human form, but they never succeeded. Our strength is too strong. If we become weak, they will succeed. So we started fighting very fiercely, releasing the energy inside our bodies. We released the energy inside our bodies to lure out these two things." Qin Yun looked at the two white lights and said, "Are these two spirit bodies? Can we communicate with them?" Sister Kiru said that this might be related to space heavenly rune. Cloud Dragon Mountain Range has evolved into a very strange space. The entire space has spirituality. She wanted us to capture these things because she wants to communicate with the Cloud Dragon Mountain Range. Yang Shuriwei said. Qin Yun recalled Princess Anya's words. She said that the Cloud Dragon Mountain Range might be inside a huge living being. Siakaru and Princess Anya's words are more or less the same. "Oh, that's right. Where did you go?" "A heaven creation city appeared. Do you know about it?" Qin Yun asked. "We know. Kiru has an important matter to do. So she took us to a very far place." Xian Rujing said. "What important matter?" Qin Yun very much wants to know what Siakaru is doing. Two things. The first thing is to seal a bead. She said it is some divine universe evil dragon's dragon pearl. Second, she is looking for some 9 desolate divine saber spirit. Xian Rujing said. Qin Yin is extremely shocked in his heart. What Siakaru is doing is really not simple. He only knew that the divine cosmic evil dragon had a heart, but he didn't know that it had a dragon pearl. Powerful dragons would indeed have dragon balls in their bodies, but they were usually together with their hearts. In other words, the divine universe evil dragon's heart, body, and dragon bead were all sealed separately. This matter, even the heaven-creating palace master does not know, but Siakaru knows. Furthermore, the saber soul of the divine saber of Jiuhuang was closely related to the divine saber of Jiuhuang that he had just obtained. Xiao Yun, we knew you could break the seal on the heavenly altar. Yang Shuryu said, "We've finally returned to the Cloud Dragon Mountain Range. Back then, I was also very curious about this place. I didn't expect it to hide so many secrets." Qin Yun said, "Did Sister Kiru bring you to seal the dragon pearl? Have you found the 9 desolate divine saber soul? The dragon ball is gone, so we have to go further to look for the sword soul. I did find the saber soul, but it was severely damaged." Yang Shuryu said, "Later on, we continue to track the dragon ball. It is very strange. Yuelan can actually sense the dragon ball." Qin Yin remembers that Xiao Yuelan had dragon martial spirit from the beginning. She also has a very special ability. She can very quickly copy other people's formidable ability. She is also a very heaven-defying existence. The dragon ball can run away? Qin Yun is somewhat worried. If the divine cosmic evil dragon can find the dragon ball, it will be a big problem. Indeed, moreover, it can run very fast. This is what Yuelan said. Xian Rujing looked at the 2 light balls inside the 9-dragon heavenly origin formation and said, Sister Kiru said that if we can find these two things, we might be able to travel through space and catch the Dragon Ball even faster. Qin Yun understands Xie Kiru's intention. The two things sealed inside the Nine-Dragon Heavenly Origin Formation are the key to breaking through the space restriction of the Cloud Dragon Mountain Range. Xiao Yun, how long have you been in the Cloud Dragon Mountain Range? What happened? I heard Sister Kiru say that a very intense battle broke out in the Cloud Dragon Mountain Range. Yang Shiryu said. We sensed it from very far away. Xian Rujing nodded and said, Did you participate in the battle? Qin Yun took out a few chairs, sat down, and began talking about Heaven Creation City, Evil Dragon City, Divine Cosmic Evil Dragon. Yang Shiryu found out that Qin Yun's father died. She held his hand and comforted him. Don't be sad. Your father will surely be reborn. Xian Rujing also held Qin Yun's other hand and said in soft voice, Xiao Yun, your father's fire dragon god. He has a god position totem. Through the god position totem, his soul cannot be destroyed, and he can be reborn. Qin Yun nodded. He is also certain about this point. However, he doesn't know whether or not he can find Qin Long's true body in the immortal graveyard. Yang Shiryu said, Xiao Yun, if we want to find Sister Kiru, we will have to travel very far. Moreover, they are chasing after the Dragon Ball. The distance between us and them is getting bigger and bigger. It will be very difficult to catch up to them. I have an urgent matter to find her, Qin Yun said. Xian Rujing looked at the two light balls inside the Nine-Dragon Heavenly Origin Formation and said, If we can use these two things to travel through space, we will be able to find Kiru very quickly. If we hurry to find Sister Kiru and the others, it might take a month. Yang Shiryu lightly sighed and said, Moreover, the road is very dangerous. It would be best to quickly research these two things and then find Sister Kiru and the others. Maybe it will be faster and safer. Qin Yun nodded and said, If we can master the technique of space travel, it will be very convenient for us to move around in the Cloud Dragon Mountain Range. Then let's begin, Xian Rujing said with smile. Xiao Yun, you are inscription master. You will surely be able to handle it. Qin Yun looked at the two very large white light balls, shook his head, and said, I might not be able to succeed. How about we return to Heaven Creation City first? I will find other inscription masters to research together. He wants to find Princess Anya to research together, because Princess Anya's identity as Heaven Creation Palace Master is a very ancient sacred inscription master. She has existed since the time of Nine Sun royal family. She must be very experienced and knowledgeable. All right, we'll go to Heaven Creation City, Yang Shiryu said. Qin Yun and the two women arrived at the main control room, then controlled the Heaven Leaping Shuttle and flew towards Heaven Creation City. Yang Shiryu and Xian Rujing are also lying down on the couch to rest. Big Sister Yang, has Sister Shuyan been with you all this time? Did she use Nine Sun World Extermination Scripture? Qin Yun asked. Yang Shiryu and Xian Rujing just realized that Qin Yun killed Devil Immortal Great Emperor, and Devil Immortal Great Emperor has mastered Nine Sun World Extermination Scripture. She did. She is very awesome. She was the one opening the way on the way. We didn't even take action. Yuelan always complained that Sister Shuyan is too awesome. She didn't even have the chance to take action. Yang Shiryu said with light smile. Xiao Yun, regarding Nine Sun World Extermination Scripture, Sister Shuyan and I have already discussed it. When the time comes, I will join hands with her and pass it to you. Xian Rujing said, Yuelan and Yu Shaoling, those two bad girls are not at my side. It is really peaceful. On the way, those two scoundrels are all over the place. They are even worse than Xiao Yun. Yang Shiryu giggled and said, Xiao Yun is also all over you? He is very honest in front of me. Oof. This guy's dragon claw is truly evil. Xian Rujing groaned at Qin Yun. Divine Desolate's most beautiful ice and snow goddess. You bit me first, so I used dragon claw on you. Qin Yun curled his lips and said, If you didn't bite me, I wouldn't have attacked you. In any case, you are evil. You're deliberately looking for an opportunity to take advantage of me. Xian Rujing lightly rebuked, then grinded her teeth at Qin Yun. It looks like she wants to bite him. Qin Yun shook his head and said with smile, "You might not believe it, but I have a very resounding nickname in Heaven Creation City. It is called Honest Qin. The eyes of the masses are as bright as snow. They recognize that I am very honest. That is why they gave me this nickname." This is indeed the case. When Qin Yun entered Heaven Creation Divine Palace, all the older generation respectfully called him Honest Qin. "Oh, that's right, Xiao Yun. What is going on with that Princess Anya?" Sister Kiru said that she is a very outstanding woman. She wants us to communicate with her more. We will have great harvest. Yang Shiyu suddenly said. Yuan met her. We even got along with her for a period of time. Qin Yun said with smile, "Didn't you ask Yuan?" "Of course we asked, but do you know what kind of understanding that unscrupulous wild girl Yuan has towards Princess Anya?" Xian Rujing said. "What did Yuan say?" Qin Yun is startled. He feels that Xiao Yuan should understand Princess Anya very well, because Xiao Yuan has been flirting with Princess Anya for a very long time. Yuan said that Princess Anya's body is very good. It feels very good to pat her, but Xian Rujing rolled her eyes and said in a very speechless manner. Moreover, she said that even though Princess Anya looks very cold and arrogant, she is extremely coquettish. Yang Shiyu, who was at the side, already burst into laughter and said, "Xiao Yun, your wife is truly wild." Qin Yun is speechless. He really did not expect that Xiao Yuan would evaluate Princess Anya like this. He shook his head with a smile and said, "I feel that it is necessary to tell Princess Anya about these things. Let her guard against Yuan. There is also Yu Shaoling. These two wretched girls on the road, they kept plotting how to kidnap Princess Anya. Too bad." Xian Rujing angrily cursed. "You and her truly a perfect match." Qin Yun is speechless. He suddenly recalled Shimin Qinglian from Divine Inscription Mountain. She's also a wild girl. Xiao Yuan also promised to bring her to Guanghan Palace. 2 days passed by. Qin Yun returned to Heaven Creation City. He brought along Xian Rujing and Yang Shiyu and waited in the main hall of Princess Anya's palace. Chapter 1907. Do we know each other? Yang Shiyu looked at the masked Princess Anya and asked doubtfully. Then she glanced at Qin Yun. Xian Rujing actually saw Princess Anya before. She stayed in Emperor Race Divine Palace for a period of time, but she never saw her true appearance. Dark Princess Anya must have seen Yang Shiyue's true appearance. That's why she reacted like this. This caused Qin Yun to be very bewildered. Also, that means Princess Anya or Heaven Creation Palace Master has seen Yang Shiyue's true appearance before. I just feel that you look very familiar. Since you don't know me, forget it. Princess Anya said. She did not take off her mask. She looked at Xian Rujing and said, "I am Princess Anya, also Heaven Creation Palace Master. Don't go around talking about this matter. Your voice has changed a lot." Xian Rujing sensed Princess Anya's aura just now. She did not expect her to become so strong. Moreover, she is Heaven Creation Palace Master. This, Qin Yun introduced Yang Shiyue and Xian Rujing to Princess Anya so that they can understand each other. Yang Shiyue said, "Are you the sacred inscription Master Xiao Yun is looking for? Then let's quickly begin. Time is pressing." "Begin what?" Princess Anya asked. Qin Yun took out the heaven-leaping shuttle and entered the large warehouse. Large there are 2 white light balls sealed inside the 9-dragon heavenly origin formation. Before, the 2 white light balls kept colliding with the 9-dragon heavenly origin formation, but now they have calmed down a lot and are only revolving. Princess Anya saw the 2 white light balls and said in amazement, "These are space Xian ants. Princess, do you know these things? Can we use these things to travel through space?" Qin Yun hastily asked. Princess Anya looked at the 2 white light balls, shook her head and said, "I am not sure. Many years ago, these things appeared but then disappeared." Xian Rujing asked, "What are space Xian ants? Are they like ants?" Princess Anya approached the 9-dragon heavenly origin formation and looked at the 2 light balls at close range. She slowly said, "Their habits are similar to ants. In short, they are born from ant queens. These spatial Xian ants appeared in the Cloud Dragon Mountain range. They might have snuck out." "Queen ant?" Qin Yun looked around and said in surprise, "Where is the spatial queen ant?" The spatial Xian ant is a very peculiar creature. It doesn't have flesh and blood and is formed from a mass of energy. Generally speaking, the space Xian ants are everywhere, but most of them are not exposed in the bright space. They're usually in the dark space. Princess and Yi said, "Bright space? Dark space?" Yang Shiryu asked, "What is this?" Bright space is a variety of connected spaces, such as the immortal desolate, sacred desolate, divine desolate, including the Cloud Dragon Mountain Range, as well as various desolate domains, and so on. These spaces are all connected, and, generally speaking, they can be regarded as a whole. Princess and Yi said, "It's a space that we can go to, right?" Asked Qin Yun. "More or less. As for the dark space, it's something we can't go to. Only these space Xian ants can go there, because the dark space is full of energy, flesh and blood that go to the dark space will turn into energy." Princess and Yi nodded. Space Xian ants don't have flesh and blood body. Their body is formed from energy, so they can hide in the dark space. Princess, can we use the space Xian ants to break the solid space? Qin Yun asked. This is also something they are very concerned about. I don't know, but we can try. Princess and Yi is also very interested. She somewhat excitedly said, "Space Xian ants can weaken the space wall. They can freely travel between the bright space and dark space. If we can control the space Xian ants and weaken the space of the Cloud Dragon Mountain Range, we can travel through space." Xian Rujing looked at the two balls of white light and said, "Why do these space Xian ants want to devour us?" "Devour you?" Princess and Yi is somewhat astonished. She looked at Qin Yun and others. Yang Shiryu then informed Princess and Yi about the space Xian ants. Dark after Princess and Yi heard this, she is also very amazed. If this is really the case, then it means that these two space Xian ants have evolved to a certain level. Moreover, they yearn for the life of the bright space. Princess and Yi said, "How about we help them evolve into humans and then communicate further?" Yang Shiryu suddenly had a whim. She said with a smile, "If these two space Xian ants are easy to communicate with, then we can make them cooperate. We can give it a try." Princess and Yi nodded her head and said, "The problem is, how can we help them evolve into humans? Where can we find two suitable people?" Qin Yun asked. Yang Shiryu lightly laughed and said, "This is easy. Leave it to me." Then suddenly two moons appeared behind her. They're not very big. Then the two moons turned into light balls and then transformed into two spirits that look exactly like Yang Shiryu. The spirits are wearing white muslin long skirt, have a pair of spirit wings and pointed ears. Although they look exactly like Yang Shiryu, their temperament is completely different. This kind of tender and charming charm is something that Yang Shiryu does not have. These are the two moon spirits summoned by Yang Shiryu. Qin Yun feels that the charm of these two moon spirits is the same as Sun Fairy Yu Shaoling, maybe even more enchanting than her. Princess and Yi is somewhat astonished. These moon spirits have flesh and blood body, but they have not cultivated their own soul. Yang Shiryu said with a smile, "I used a secret method to cultivate them. They can become my avatar in the future. If they fuse with Xian ants, I will have two space spirits. If I had known earlier, I would have let my Snow Woman Immortal come out." Xian Rujing said, "Your Snow Woman Immortal is not as awesome as my moon spirits." Yang Shiryu said with charming smile, "All right, you are awesome." Xian Rujing also admitted. Princess and Yi looked at Qin Yun and said, "Later we will join hands and try our best to fuse moon spirits and Xian ants. Do you need my help?" Yang Shiryu asked. Qin Yun and I will first let the Moon Fairy and the Space Xian ant enter the fusion stage. Later, you will need to release enough soul power to ensure that after the fusion, you and the Moon Fairy soul will occupy the dominant position and devour Space Xian Yi soul. My soul is very strong. I will definitely succeed. Yang Shiryu cultivates moon power. Her soul mental power is indeed very strong. Moreover, she also has another moon. All right, let's begin. Princess and Yi nodded at Qin Yun. Qin Yun controlled the nine-dragon heavenly origin formation to create an entrance, and then entered with Princess and Yi. Qin Yun, after they entered, the two white light balls became very violent. They wanted to collide with them, but were suppressed by the nine-dragon heavenly origin formation's power. Follow then two beautiful and charming moon spirits entered the nine-dragon heavenly origin formation. We will draw runes. It will be best to draw runes that can suppress space power. Princess and Yi said to Qin Yun. Qin Yun and Princess and Yi each dealt with a Xian ant, released formidable blood spirit power, and carved runes on the white light balls. The two white balls of light also suddenly quietened down, and the spatial energy was no longer as berserk. Shuriwei, it's your turn. Control the moon spirits and enter the light balls. Princess and Yi said. Yangshu, you can control the moon spirits from outside the nine-dragon heavenly origin formation. Moon spirits are cultivated by her. They have flesh and blood body. They are very special existences. It is also a kind of avatar. Some people refine puppets as avatars. Some people cultivate a body that is exactly the same as themselves. Yang, because Shuriwei has a special secret technique. She can cultivate moon spirits. Two moon spirits very easily entered the two white light balls. They have entered the fusion state. Let's go out. This process will take some time. Princess and Yi said. After Qin Yun and Princess and Yi left, Yang Shuri very earnestly sensed the situation of the two moon spirits. Shuriwei, how do you feel now? Xian Rujing asked. Moon spirits seem to be dormant. They have entered a very natural fusion state. Yang Shuri said. The fusion process is much smoother than I imagined. If it goes smoothly, Shuriwei, you will be able to understand more about Xian ants through the memories of these two Xian ants. Princess and Yi said, Dark space will surely be very interesting. Yang Shuri nodded with smile. She is a person with a strong thirst for knowledge. Therefore, she has a very deep understanding of many cultivation techniques. Qin Yun, do you want to see the nine-dragon heavenly origin formation of Heaven Creation Divine Palace? I will take you to see it. Princess and Yi said. Qin Yun looked at Xian Rujing and said with smile, Sister Rujing, you stay here and accompany Sister Yang. There won't be any problem, right? Xian Rujing is somewhat worried. There won't be any problem. The nine-dragon heavenly origin formation is here. Princess and Yi said, Don't worry, I can handle it. Yang Shuri nodded at Qin Yun. Soon after, Qin Yun and Princess and Yi left the Heaven Leaping Shuttle and arrived at Heaven Creation Divine Palace's main hall. Dark Princess and Yi brought Qin Yun and quickly entered a secret room. From a secret room, they entered an underground passage and walked up a staircase. Princess, have you seen Sister Yang before? Qin Yun asked. I said before that there are 9 Sun Divine Maidens. She is one of them. Strangely, she doesn't seem to have any memory about this. Princess and Yi said, Sister Yang is one of the 9 Sun Divine Maidens? Qin Yun said in amazement. I don't know much about the 9 Sun Divine Maidens. Although I am now a fusion of 2 9 Sun Divine Maidens, I don't know anything about the whereabouts of the other 9 Sun Divine Maidens or their mission. Princess and Yi shook her head and said. Qin Yun suddenly felt that Xie Karu might also be one of the 9 Sun Divine Maidens. He can only find out after seeing her. Princess and Yi brought Qin Yun to a huge underground secret room. There are 9 more than 10-meter wide light balls floating in the air. The 9 light balls are constantly changing color. Every time they change color, the shadow of a dragon appears on the surface of the light balls. This is Heaven Creation Divine Palace's 9-dragon heavenly origin formation. This is my first time seeing a genuine 9-dragon heavenly origin formation, Qin Yun said with sigh. Chapter 1908. Qin Yun very seriously observed the 9-dragon heavenly origin formation. Beside him, Princess Anya sighed and said, I have studied this 9-dragon heavenly origin formation for so long, but I can't make another one. It is really a failure. To create a 9-dragons heavenly origin formation requires the right time, the right place, and the right people. Your conditions are not good enough. Qin Yun said, My luck is good. That's why I was able to find a way to create the nine-dragon heavenly origin formation. Princess Anya also knows that Qin Yun has a past life of immortal King Fuyun. Back then, immortal King Fuyun had already started making preparations. If there is a chance in the future, I really hope to build a nine dragons heavenly origin formation myself. Princess Anya said, according to the ancient legends, there are only nine dragons heaven origin arrays, and they are all naturally formed. Only later did I know that it was created by the nine Yang royal family. Qin Yun used the extinction spirit eye to observe the nine dragons heavenly origin formation and discovered that it was somewhat different from his nine dragons heavenly origin formation. Legend has it that the nine suns and nine desolations can form a nine dragons heaven origin formation. Princess Anya looked at a huge ball of light and said, if that's the case, then the nine suns, nine desolation heavenly origin formation really exists, which is why it formed the powerful nine suns heavenly domain. Nature is so magical. When Qin Yun thought of the nine huge suns that formed the nine dragons heavenly origin formation, he knew how powerful it was. It was no wonder it could give birth to all living things in the nine desolate lands. There is another legend about the nine dragons heaven formation. Princess Yi said, in the ninth wilderness, the nine dragons heaven formation is the most powerful. Qin Yun, who was in the immortal desolate, did not know much about the ancient desolate. Not to mention the people from the immortal desolate, even the people from the divine desolate, did not understand the mysterious ninth desolate. How strong is the nine dragons heavenly origin array? Asked Qin Yun curiously. Legend has it that it was made from the dragon pearls of nine divine universe heavenly dragons. Princess Yi said, I don't know the specifics either. Speaking of Dragon Balls, Qin Yun recalled the divine cosmos evil dragon's Dragon Balls. Siekaru and the others are currently tracking the Dragon Pearl. Princess, divine cosmos evil dragon should have a Dragon Pearl, right? Qin Yun asked. His Dragon Pearl is inside his heart. Princess Dark Knight said, don't worry, his heart is in the immortal graveyard. Qin Yun shook his head and said, his Dragon Pearl is not in his heart. It is sealed separately. The person I was looking for is now chasing after that Dragon Pearl. The reason why I'm in such a hurry to travel through space is to find that person. Qin Yun, the people you know are not simple. For example, Shuri Wei, she is one of the nine sun goddesses, and the Bing Xing you mentioned is also. Princess Anya paused and then said, Rujing has God-positioned totem fluctuations on her body. From her divine power attribute, she should be the snow goddess. Princess Anya was the moon dragon god, so she could sense the God-positioned totems of other gods. Then do you think it's possible for the Dragon Pearl to escape? Qin Yun asked. I don't know. We have to see the Dragon Ball first. Princess Dark Knight shook her head. If that's the case, then Divine Cosmos Evil Dragon might be able to sense his Dragon Pearl. Will Divine Cosmos Evil Dragon go look for his Dragon Pearl? Qin Yun suddenly became worried because Siekaru and others are currently looking for that Dragon Pearl. It's possible. Princess Anya's voice suddenly became grave. Qin Yun, how far is the person you are looking for? Very far. If we hurry, it might take more than a month or even longer. Qin Yun said somewhat anxiously. In other words, even if it's Divine Cosmos Evil Dragon, it won't be easy to find that Dragon Pearl. We still have time. Princess Anya said, Shuri Wei should be able to control those two spatial Xian ants. So long as Yang Shuri Wei succeeds, they will be able to use the spatial Xian ants to travel through space and immediately rush to Siekaru's location. Qin Yun nodded and said, Let's go, let's go. Princess Anya said, Don't you want to take a look at this nine-dragon heavenly origin formation? It is indeed very different from mine. The main thing is the internal dragon heavenly runes. These dragon heavenly runes are much stronger than the ones I control. Qin Yun said, Heavenly runes can evolve. Your dragon heavenly runes can also evolve later. Princess Anya said. She also hopes that Qin Yun can quickly make one for her, so that she can carry it with her. Heaven creation divine palaces, 9-dragon heavenly origin formation must stay here forever. She can't take it away. Qin Yun followed Princess Anya and left the underground secret room. While walking on the stairs, he asked, Princess, does the 9th desolate divine saber have saber spirit? Yes. Saber spirit is very important. Only by finding saber spirit can the 9 desolate divine saber be completely restored. Princess Anya nodded and said, Qin Yun, I will temporarily leave the 9 desolate divine saber with you. When I need it later, you must lend it to me. Of course, Qin Yun said with a smile. Princess Anya also doesn't know why she wants the 9 desolate divine saber, because she has lost a portion of her memories. There's also that box. I feel that it is greatly related to the 9 desolate divine saber. Princess Anya recalled the bloodline heavenly rune box. That box is indeed greatly related to the 9 desolate divine saber. Now, it has already merged with the 9 desolate divine saber. Wait until you recover your memories. Although Qin Yun is very curious about what is inside the box, he can't open it now. He can only wait until Princess Anya's memories are complete. They return to the Heaven Leaping Shuttle. After entering the Heaven Leaping Shuttle's warehouse, they saw that the 2 white light balls inside the 9-dragon heavenly origin formation had become a lot dimmer. When the 2 moon elves entered the light balls before, they could not see their graceful and beautiful figures. But now they can vaguely see that there are 2 graceful and graceful women inside the white light balls. The moon elves released by Yang Shuriwa have absorbed a lot of energy from the space Xian ants, but their progress is rather slow because the 2 light balls still have a lot of energy. It seems like it will take a few more days, Princess Anya said. Qin Yun nodded. We can only slowly wait. Xian Rujing suddenly pulled Qin Yun and said in low voice, Xiao Yun, I have something to discuss with you alone. All right. Qin Yun pulled Xian Rujing and teleported to the 8th secret room. After arriving at the secret room, Xian Rujing lightly groaned and said, Xiao Yun, you immediately brought me to the secret room. Do you think you could take advantage of me? Qin Yun is startled, then laughed involuntarily and said, Divine Desolate's most beautiful ice and snow goddess. You said you have something to discuss with me alone. Of course, I immediately brought you to the secret room. You thought you could take advantage of me. That's why you immediately teleported here. Xian Rujing lightly rebuked and looked at Qin Yun with hidden bitterness. Ling Yuner already shouted, Idiot, quickly kiss her. You scoundrel and stupid idiot. Qin Yun ignored Ling Yuner and said in earnest, What important matter do you have to discuss with me? If not, let's go out. Xian Rujing stamped her foot, then leaned over and hugged Qin Yun. She pressed Qin Yun against the wall and ferociously kissed him. Her strength is extremely rough. Qin Yun really did not expect that this ice-cold ice and snow goddess would first become delicate and charming and then become wild and wild. The goddess of ice and snow. After a while, Xian Rujing proudly said, Yuelon bullied me all day long. Now I've bullied her, man. I got my revenge. Finished speaking, she pinched Qin Yun's face and delicately smiled in a very proud manner. Oomph, this wretched girl Yuelon. She is actually drawing hatred for me. Qin Yun curled his lips, then pinched Xian Rujing's face. Tell me honestly, when you left with Princess Anya just now, were you having an affair? Xian Rujing's expression is saying, I understand. I say ice and snow goddess. How come your head is filled with these things? Qin Yun pinched Xian Rujing's jade-like beautiful and pretty face and said with smile, Of course not. Oomph. That Princess Anya is wearing a mask, but I know that she is a beauty. Xian Rujing tied up her long hair hanging on her chest and said with light smile, A woman that Yuelon fancies is certainly not bad. Qin Yun unhappily rolled his eyes and said, You have been led astray by Yuelon. Xian Rujing rebuked and said with smile, Of course not. Even if I have been led astray, it is your fault. What does it have to do with me? Qin Yun is very speechless. He said with grievance expression, My nickname is Honest Qin. You have a bad little Tao spirit. You must also be very bad. Xian Rujing lightly patted Qin Yun's handsome face and said with smile, Qin Yun pulled Xian Rujing's lily-white hand, gently rubbed it, and said, Sister Rujing, I have not been able to contact Sister Star God for a long time. Will something happen to her? Probably not. I heard you sacrificed a lot of remnant souls to her before. She might need some time to digest them. Xian Rujing spat in low voice. I say you are together with me, yet you're still thinking about Sister Star God. Qin Yun laughed and said, Let's go see Sister Yang. Xian Rujing pulled Qin Yun and said, Why are you leaving? Can't you stay with me for a while? I am a big bad guy. It is very dangerous for you to be alone with me. Qin Yun is deliberately scaring her. I just want to see how honest Qin are. Xian Rujing pinched Qin Yun's waist and said with chuckle, Wait until I see Welon next time. I will tell her how I bullied her man. Qin Yun bitterly sighed. Is it because all the girls who were taken advantage of by you Welon want to bully me to get back at me? That's right. Xian Rujing pursed her lips and laughed. All right, I won't tease you anymore. I really have a matter to discuss with you. But you are too unromantic. We have not seen each other for so long. It is rare for us to be alone. Yet you want me to take the initiative. She spoke and lightly pounded Qin Yun's chest again. Qin Yun giggled, then kissed Xian Rujing's face and said, My ice and snow goddess is as pure as ice and as clean as jade. I am just a little mortal. How can I blaspheme the sacred and beautiful ice and snow goddess? Chapter 1909. After Qin Yun and Xian Rujing finished playing, they sat on the ground and leaned against the wall. Xian Rujing leaned on Qin Yun's bosom and said in delicate voice, Xiao Yun, the process of us getting to know each other is truly full of twists and turns. That's right. Back then you came from an immortal family, a high and mighty immortal. Qin Yun laughed and said, At that time, you hated me very much. Humph. Who asked you to make me hate you? Xian Rujing lightly smiled and said, I did not expect you to be the king of divine Desolate's myriad gods. And you're the same as me. We are both down and out guys. Drifting down to the lower realms, we got to know each other. Qin Yun placed his hand on her slender waist and suddenly pinched it, causing her to softly cry out. Dead man, why are you pinching me? Xian Rujing rebuked and laughed delicately. Didn't you say that you have something important to discuss with me alone? Qin Yun said with smile. You forgot? I was just reminding you. You stupid blockhead. I want to have a heart-to-heart talk with you first. Xian Rujing said in low voice, then leaned on Qin Yun's body and started randomly pinching. Qin Yun could only allow her to act coquettishly. This ice goddess, who is usually cold, was very unbearable when she acted coquettishly. Xiao Yun, I heard from Shuyin that you really need my snow goddess totem. Is that right? Xian Rujing's finger is randomly drawing on Qin Yun's chest and said in low voice, Qin Yun nodded, then very earnestly explained the situation of the Nine Heavens Dragon Lion Cannon. I feel that if we have the snow goddess totem, we will be able to use it as a shield. That way it can cool down faster. Qin Yun said, The snow goddess totem should be able to absorb sacred mystic silver crystals or other star energy, right? The effect is definitely very good. Xian Rujing nodded and said. Qin Yun lowered his head to look at Xian Rujing. Her cold and arrogant and beautiful face is now filled with tenderness. Are you ready to pass the snow goddess totem to me? Qin Yun raised his eyebrows and asked in surprise. Otherwise, I would not have come to talk to you alone. Are you ready to accept it? Xian Rujing said with smile. Anytime. Qin Yun nodded quickly with a serious expression. Then how are you going to thank me? First thank me, then I will give it to you. Xian Rujing's charming face suddenly became filled with charm. Qin Yun was taken aback. He immediately reacted and kissed her. Xian Rujing happily laughed. Her face became slightly rosy and said, Let's begin. Ice and snow goddess totem is on Xian Rujing's body. She is calmly sitting on a cushion, pulling up her long hair and letting her god-positioned totem appear on the surface of her body. Qin Yun very seriously looked at these totem runes. This process is very mysterious because he can very easily memorize these complex totem runes. As long as he looks at them, they will immediately be branded in his mind. Xian Rujing's body is like ice and snow jade, perfect and flawless. White shining runes appeared on her body. Holy and pure light rays appeared on her body. When she released the ice goddess totem, a wave of frost surged out, causing her to look like she had melded into the ice and snow. It was natural, filled with a beautiful charm. Qin Yun's recording process was very fast. It only took a moment for him to finish. After he finished, he took out a gown and draped it over Xian Rujing's body and said with a smile, "Thank you. You are indeed honest, Qin." Xian Rujing tidied up her clothes and said with gentle smile, "If Yuelon was here, the consequences would be too horrible to contemplate. Sister Rujing, my spirit world's little fairy, is very worried." Qin Yun said with mischievous smile. Ling Yuner is indeed jumping up and down anxiously because she very much wants to come out and admire this great beauty Xian Rujing. She is also cursing Qin Yun in her heart for ending like this. "Yuner, I will miss you," Xian Rujing said with charming smile. Qin Yun also wants to modify 9 Heavens Dragon Lion Cannon. "Xiao Yun, you are now 9th stage Immortal Emperor Bottleneck. Do you know how to transform into a sacred being?" Xian Rujing suddenly asked. "How to transform into a sacred being?" Qin Yun asked. "Do you remember that I have dual spirit immortal veins? Moreover, it is 8 sun immortal veins, and you have sacred sun spirit vein. After we fuse, both of us will have 9 sacred sun immortal veins, and then evolve to 9 sacred sun veins." Xian Rujing very earnestly said. Qin Yun nodded and said, "Of course I remember. How about it? Only with sacred veins can one transform into a sacred being even faster. We have a secret cultivation method in Guanghan Palace that can smoothly transform into a sacred being, but it won't be so easy for you," Xian Rujing said. This is what Sister Kiru said. Xian Rujing has dual spirit immortal veins and 8 sun immortal veins. Therefore, many people wanted to obtain her, because as long as they obtained her, they would have the same immortal veins as her. This is the special aspect of dual spirit immortal veins. Qin Yun has only 1 spirit vein. The reason why he can absorb 9 kinds of sun energy is because of 9 sun divine soul. Using 9 sun divine soul is not a long-term solution, but Qin Yun has no way to obtain more spirit veins. "You still have spirit veins?" Xian Rujing inspected Qin Yun's body and said, "It is indeed so. Sister Rujing, you want to help me cultivate sacred veins?" Qin Yun said with frown. This is not too good. If you can cultivate sacred veins on your own, I won't need to help you." Xian Rujing laughed and said, "We can talk about this later. In any case, if you can cultivate 9 sun sacred veins, you will be able to cultivate 9 sun divine veins. That is very strong." Qin Yun said, "I should be able to transform into sacred veins on my own." Xian Rujing's eyes flickered. She said with a smile, "Then I wish you success. Let's go out. I will send you out first. I want to refine something." Qin Yun took out 9 Heavens Dragon Lion Cannon and said with a smile, "I want to modify this toy." "All right." Xian Rujing nodded. After Qin Yun sent Xian Rujing out of the warehouse, he began carving Ice Goddess Totem on the cannon. Ling Yuner said, "Xiao Yun, Ice Goddess wants to help you cultivate 9 sun sacred veins. You should follow her wishes." "What the?" Qin Yun curled his lips and said, "A3. It seems like I will have to have a chat with Yuelon. It is better to communicate with Yuelon." Ling Yuner said. Qin Yun is earnestly modifying 9 Heavens Dragon Lion Cannon. He is very much looking forward to the cool-down effect of carving Ice Goddess Totem. What makes him feel that it is very miraculous is that the speed at which he obtained Ice Goddess Totem is very fast, and the process of carving is very smooth. Why is it like this? Qin Yun is very puzzled in his heart. That is because Ice Goddess gave you her God Position Totem. You just didn't realize it. Ling Yuner said, "Really? Sister Rujing doesn't want it anymore?" Qin Yun said in amazement. "She still has it on her body." Ling Yuner said with charming smile, "Her heart has already been given to you. That is why you can master this kind of God Position Totem so quickly." Qin Yun suddenly felt warm in his heart because Xian Rujing is very good to him. He suddenly feels that being bitten by Xian Rujing so many times is still very profitable. One day passed by. Qin Yin finally finished carving Ice Goddess Totem on Nine Heavens Dragon Line Cannon. After carving, he discovered that not only can Nine Heavens Dragon Line Cannon shoot out fire, it can also shoot out very strong ice-cold power. For example, he can use Ice Goddess Totem to condense very strong ice-cold power and shoot out very strong ice-cold power. He needs to fire a very strong star cannonball to test the cooling speed of the cannon, and now he doesn't have the conditions to test it. He doesn't have many star cannonballs, so he cannot waste them. I will try again next time. The result should be very good. Qin Yin looked at the flute-shaped Nine Heavens Dragon Lion Cannon in his hand and slightly gripped it. He sensed the power of Ice Goddess Totem. Although it is Ice Goddess Totem, Qin Yin felt a kind of warm and tender feeling when holding it. After Qin Yin arrived at the warehouse, the two white light balls inside the Nine-Dragon Heavenly Origin formation became very faint. He can now clearly see the Moon Fairy inside. The Moon Fairy's eyes are closed. She is floating between the two white light balls. Her delicate body is absorbing the energy of the space Xian ants. It is almost over. Princess Anya said, "The body of the Moon Fairy can actually endure so much energy. It is truly awesome. My Snow Woman Immortal fought with the Moon Fairy and lost." Xian Rujing said with some envy, "Shiryu Moon Fairy devoured the space Xian ants. It will surely become even stronger. You can also cultivate an Ice Fairy." Ice Goddess, Snow Goddess. Princess Anya said, although she has never been to Divine Desolate, she is after all a fusion of two Nine-Sun Divine Maidens. She has a wealth of knowledge. Xian Rujing's identity as Ice Goddess is very mysterious. She feels that the reason why Princess Anya knows about it is because of Qin Yin. "You know that I am Ice Goddess?" Xian Rujing said in amazement. "I am Moon Dragon God, you should know, right?" Princess Anya laughed and said, "We both have God-positioned totems. We can sense each other." Xian Rujing almost forgot that Princess Anya and Long Yuqing are both dragon gods. "Can I really cultivate an Ice Fairy? How do I cultivate?" Xian Rujing promptly asked. "It seems like your God-position inheritance is not complete." Princess Anya said, then placed her hand on Xian Rujing's chest and said, "I will pass on the technique to you." Finished speaking, she transferred a memory as well as a special ability into Xian Rujing's body. "Thank you, Princess," Xian Rujing very happily said. After this is done, Xian Rujing promptly asked Qin Yin to teleport her to a secret room and let her cultivate in seclusion. Qin Yin arrived beside Princess Anya and said in low voice, "Princess, I want to cultivate a spirit. Do you have any secret method? Can you release Snow Woman Immortal like Rujing?" Princess Anya asked. I can't, but I have a spirit." Qin Yin is talking about Ling Yuner. Ling Yuner also asked Qin Yin to ask Princess Anya. "He indeed has a weird and clever spirit," Yang Shiryu said with smile. When she and Qin Yin cultivated Sun and Moonheart Sutra's second layer, Spirit Fusion Technique, she entered Qin Yin's mental world and came in contact with Ling Yuner, who is very evil. Chapter 1910. Princess Anya said self-deprecatingly, "So what? I can't make the Nine-Dragon Heavenly Origin formation. I'm not even as good as you. I feel like I've lived all these years in vain." "Don't say that. It's all luck that I can make the Nine-Dragon Heavenly Origin formation," Qin Yin said with a smile. "You can't make the Nine-Dragon Heavenly Origin formation, but you're definitely better than me in other aspects. Princess, I also want to see how the secret technique you cultivate is like," Yang Shiryu asked curiously. She herself has mastered the secret technique of the Moon Elves, so she also wants to know about Princess Anya's secret technique. "Shiryu, you can cultivate the secret technique of the Moon Elves. How did you get it?" Princess Anya arrived beside Yang Shiryu. "Well, anyway, when my cultivation reaches a certain level, some ideas will naturally appear in my mind, and then I cultivate them." Yang Shiryu's beautiful face is also filled with confusion. She shook her head. "I still find it strange that I suddenly mastered this secret technique." Qin Yun immediately thought of something. Yang Shuriyue is one of the 9-sun divine maiden. Maybe she was born with it. Princess Anya pressed her hand on Yang Shuriyue's heart, stared at Yang Shuriyue's eyes, and passed the secret technique to Yang Shuriyue. Yang Shuriyue is just curious. She wants to see how this secret technique is different from the one she mastered. Princess Anya's mask revealed her eyes. Yang Shuriyue and Princess Anya looked at each other and felt that those eyes are very familiar. She could not help but blurt out in a low voice, "Bing Xing." At the same time, Yang Shuriyue also received the secret technique. After Princess Anya took off her mask, Yang Shuriyue was immediately shocked. She opened her beautiful eyes wide and looked at Princess Anya's beautiful face. She said in shock, "You are not Bing Xing. Who are you?" "I am Princess Anya, and also the Palace Master of the Heaven Creation Divine Palace." Princess Anya said, "What's the difference between the secret technique I passed on to you and the one you mastered?" Yang Shuriyue looked at Qin Yun with a bewildered expression, hoping that Qin Yun could explain. "This matter is very complicated. It's a long story," Qin Yun said. Since Princess Anya took off her mask, it seems like she intends to tell Yang Shuriyue about the matter. As for whether or not to tell Yang Shuriyue about this matter, Qin Yun could not decide. After Yang Shuriyue calmed down the shock in her heart, she said, "The secret technique you passed to me is more complete, and the one I suddenly comprehended myself can only be used to cultivate moon elves, and it's only suitable for me to cultivate." "I see." Princess Anya frowned and said, "Maybe you need to grow to a certain level of cultivation before you can gradually feel your mission." "Xiaoyan, what's going on? Why does Princess Anya look exactly the same as Bing Xing?" "I can confirm that they are not the same person. Could they be clones? Or are they twin sisters who have been separated for many years?" Yang Shuriyue was puzzled. "We might be sisters." Princess Yi suddenly held Yang Shuriyue's lily-white hand, then closed her eyes and said softly, "Shuriyue, receive the memories I passed to you." Yang Shuriyue nodded, relaxed herself, and forced herself to resist the memories of Princess Yi. In the process of accepting the memories, surprise gradually appeared on Yang Shuriyue's jade-like face. It seemed that she knew a lot about the 9-sun goddess. "That's about it," Princess Yi said. "I'm sure that your soul is one of the 9-sun goddess. My little sister Yu might also be one." Yang Shuriyue thought of Yu. Yu has a head full of white hair, but she is her twin sister. "I'm not sure. I'll only know when I see her." Princess Yi shook her head. "There are 9 divine maidens. Can we all gather together?" Yang Shuriyue is somewhat looking forward to it, she said with a smile. "Although we are not related by blood, we should be considered 9 sisters. Who is the big sister?" I'm not sure." Princess Yi shook her head and said, "There are only 8 of you. You won't be able to gather 9. Qin Yun sighed. "Because Princess Yi and Heaven Creation Palace Master have fused." "Not really. Wait until I become stronger in the future. I can make Heaven Creation Palace Master separate." Princess Yi said with a smile. "You can even operate like this. You 9-sun goddess are too magical." Qin Yun is astonished and said with a smile. Yang Shuriyue is thinking about something with a frown. She paused and asked, "Princess, can 9-sun goddess sense each other?" "You can tell that I'm one of the 9 suns divine ladies, but I can't tell you. Originally, I couldn't see that others are 9-sun goddess. Only after I fused with Heaven Creation Palace Master did I obtain this ability." Princess Yi said, "Back then, when I met Heaven Creation Palace Master in Heaven Creation Divine Palace, she was the one who stimulated my ability. We can feel each other." Yang Shuriyue looked at Qin Yun. Both of them are thinking about the same question. Is Siekiru one of the 9-sun goddess? Yang Shuriyue and Siekiru have been together for a long time, but she has never had any strange feeling. You can also be considered family. You must take care of each other in the future. Qin Yun said with a smile, then pulled Princess Yi's hand and let her hold Yang Shuriyue's hand. Yang Shuriyue is still controlling the 2 moon elves. After she tightly held Princess Yi's hand, she suddenly felt a very intimate and warm feeling. One of you 9-sun goddess must be the big sister. I wonder where she is now. Qin Yun said with a smile. It doesn't matter who is the big sister. In short, we are all good sisters. Princess Yi looked at Yang Shiryu with gentle eyes, then hugged her and kissed her face. And Yang Shiryu smiled gently and also kissed Princess Yi's face. Qin Yun said, I plan to go cultivate my spirit. I will finish very quickly. If you want to cultivate your spirit, it will take a very long time. Yang Shiryu said with a smile. Is it because Yuner wants to run out quickly? Not really. Does it really take a long time? Then how long will Sister Rujing need to cultivate before she can come out? Qin Yun asked. Rujing already has Snow Woman Immortal, so it will be faster. Princess Yi said, cultivating spirit is not a matter of 1 or 2 days. It will take a very long time. All right. Qin Yun also temporarily dispelled the idea of cultivating spirit. He really wanted Ling Yuner to come out and have some fun. Yang Shiryu's progress is very smooth. Her 2 moon elves completely swallowed the space Xian ants and obtained the ability of space Xian ants. Shiryu, how do you feel? You and the moon elves are connected by soul. What did you learn from it? Princess Yi saw the white light ball disappear and hurriedly asked. It's quite complicated. The situation in the dark space is much more complicated than we imagined. Yang Shiryu closed her eyes, frowned, and said, the 2 space Xian ants are trapped in this dark space area. Trapped? Princess Yi said in shock. Yes, this dark space is sealed by a very strong power. The space Xian ants that are active here are unable to return to their nest, so they devour each other. Finally, there are only 2 left, and they open a passage to the bright space. Yang Shiryu said, the bright and dark space where the Cloud Dragon Mountain Range is located is sealed. Princess Yi walked back and forth, apparently thinking about something. Qin Yun asked, Sister Yang, can we use these 2 moon elves to travel through space? It can be done, but it will consume a lot of energy. Yang Shiryu said, moreover, we can't travel through space frequently. Why can't we travel frequently? Qin Yun asked. Frequent travel will cause very small cracks to appear in the space. The appearance of cracks means that the space is unstable. The mysterious power that seals the space will strengthen, causing the space to become even more solid. Yang Shiryu said, occasionally traveling is not a problem. Qin Yun nodded and said, don't worry about energy. Let's go find Sister Kiru and the others as soon as possible. All right. Yang Shiryu nodded and said, it seems like the space in the Cloud Dragon Mountain Range has been reinforced. We can't enter or exit. Princess Yi said, if we transform into a sacred and go to the sacred desolate, it won't be a problem. Let's talk about it later. We still have a lot of things to do in the Cloud Dragon Mountain Range. Qin Yun said. Ever since the Heaven Leaping Shuttle was unable to travel through space, Qin Yun knew that it would be very difficult to return to the Immortal Desolate. Now that Yang Shiryu knows about the situation in the dark space, it has confirmed this point even more. Xiaoyun, let's go to the main control room first. Yang Shiryu said, I need to let my moon elves come into contact with the core of the Heaven Leaping Shuttle. Qin Yun nodded, then put away the 9-dragon Heavenly Origin formation and went to the spacious main control room. After arriving at the main control room, the 2 charming long-legged moon elves suddenly floated up. They closed their eyes and released spatial fluctuations from their bodies. Xiaoyun, can you allow them to communicate with the Heaven Leaping Shuttle? Yang Shiryu said, they have been blocked by the Heaven Leaping Shuttle's defense. Qin Yun can use his mind to control the Heaven Leaping Shuttle. With a thought, he handed over the control of the Heaven Leaping Shuttle to the 2 moon elves. Princess, prepare to leave. You are the Palace Master of the Heaven Creation Divine Palace. What do you want to arrange? Yang Shiryu said, this time we will be teleporting to a very far place. Princess Anya bit her lips. Her eyes are filled with hidden bitterness. Because she really wants to follow, but she can't let go of the Heaven Creation Divine Palace. As the Palace Master of the Heaven Creation Divine Palace, protecting the Heaven Creation Divine Palace is her mission. She can't leave for too long. I want to stay in the Heaven Creation Divine Palace. Princess Anya sighed. Qin Yin, let me out. All right. Qin Yin nodded. After Princess Anya and Yang Shiryu hugged each other, Qin Yin sent Princess Anya out of the heaven-leaping shuttle. Qin Yin controlled the heaven-leaping shuttle to fly out of the heaven creation divine palace. Yang Shiryu said, Xiao Yun, we need a lot of energy. Are you ready? Qin Yin has already released the 9-dragon heavenly origin formation. Moreover, there are divine universe golden stones inside the formation. It's enough, let's begin. Qin Yin is also somewhat excited. He said with smile, will we be able to see Sister Kiru and the others soon? Of course not. I can only approximate their location. Yang Shiryu also sensed the direction of Xia Kiru and the others through the soul-chasing talisman. Chapter 1911. The two moon elves' bodies suddenly shone with a white light, and the space around them trembled like ripples on water. The moon elves were in the center of the 9 dragons' heavenly origin formation. They held hands as they floated in the air, slowly spinning as they absorbed the energy released by the formation. Not only were the moon elves absorbing a large amount of the divine universe's power, but the heaven-leaping shuttle was also absorbing it. I see. Qin Yin suddenly understood. The moon elves used the divine cosmos power to penetrate through many layers of space and weaken the space. As for how he did it, he had no idea. In short, he was now greatly enlightened. The fluctuations of the divine universe golden stone could pass through multiple layers of space. If one had a way to use those fluctuations, they could weaken space and allow one to pass through it. The heaven-leaping shuttle absorbed the energy of the 9 dragons' heavenly origin array in preparation for a spatial jump. It needed a lot of energy to open up a spatial crack. The two moon elves absorbed the energy to weaken the spatial barrier so that the heaven-leaping shuttle could successfully break through the spatial barrier. Truly amazing. Qin Yin exclaimed in admiration. Xiao Yin, how about this? I'll leave a moon elf for you. Yang Shiryu sat beside Qin Yin. Her delicate lily-white hand rested on the back of Qin Yin's hand and pursed her lips into a smile. This way, not only can you see me every day, you can also use Moon Fairy to travel through space. If these two moon elves are separated, I wonder if they can communicate with each other? Qin Yin curiously said. He gently rubbed Yang Shiryu's hand. I'll try again in the future. Yang Shiryu said, if it's possible, even if I'm not by your side, I can still communicate with you through the moon elves and guide you in your cultivation. Qin Yin said with smile, this is great. Thank you, Sister Yang. Yang Shiryu suddenly said, we're going to start the spatial travel. Then, she held Qin Yin's hand. She's also somewhat nervous. As the two moon elves hovered in the air, they suddenly spun much faster, and mysterious spatial ripples flowed out of their bodies. The mouth of the heaven-leaping shuttle suddenly shot out a very strong spatial energy, tearing open a spatial crack. Let's go, Yang Shiryu shouted. After the heaven-leaping shuttle entered the spatial crack, it arrived at another place in the blink of an eye. Qin Yin immediately took out the soul-chasing talisman. The soul-chasing talisman is very bright. It is very close to Xia Kiru. At most, in 2 days, I will be able to meet Sister Kiru and the others. Yang Shiryu heaved a sigh of relief. Being able to smoothly travel through space, she felt a lot more at ease. Even though those two moon elves were clones, they were also made of flesh and blood, and they were quite tired as well. Qin Yin and Yang Shiryu went over, and each of them hugged a moon elf. The moon elves were both physically and mentally exhausted, and their eyes were closed as if they were asleep. Big Sister Yang, they look exactly the same as you, but why do they look so charming? Qin Yin looked at the moon fairies in his bosom and cannot help but caress their charming face. It's all because of that bad little spirit. She helped me when I was training moon elves, and that's why I ended up like this. Yang Shiryu said with a smile. Yuelon seems to like this kind of elf very much. I cultivated 2 moon elves and often played with Yuelon and Yu Shaoling. Qin Yin shook his head with a smile and said, they are very tired. Let them rest. Yang Shiryu stored the 2 moon elves and entered the special space inside her body. Big Sister Yang, should we go out? Or in a heaven-leaping shuttle? Qin Yun asked. We should go out. When the heaven-leaping shuttle is flying, its energy fluctuation will leak out. It is not enough to hide. Yang Shiryu said. Sister Rujing is still cultivating elves. I will transfer her to another place. Qin Yun said. Qin Yun first summoned Xian Rujing and then transferred her to the Nine-Sun Divine Soul. Yang Shiryu changed into a light blue light armor. Qin Yun is wearing a blue divine rune long robe. After leaving the heaven-leaping shuttle, Qin Yun stored it and looked all around. The trees here look very normal. Qin Yun remembers that the trees near Heaven Creation City have all kinds of huge tree trunks. Yang Shiryu held Qin Yun's hand. Her beautiful face suddenly became ice cold. She said in deep voice, Xiao Yun, this place is very far from Heaven Creation City. It is completely different from that place. Is this place very dangerous? When Qin Yun was in Heaven Creation City, the biggest danger was those evil spirits and heavenly monsters. However, he is now a 9th-stage immortal emperor. Even if he encountered evil spirits and heavenly monsters, he can easily kill them. There are very dangerous things in this area. Sister Kiru said so. Yang Shiryu tightly held Qin Yun's hand. Follow me closely. We will be a bit careful. Nothing will happen. She pulled Qin Yun into the forest. They did not fly in the sky. Qin Yun asked Zhang Shengxian for advice on how to quickly cultivate multiple runes. During this period of time, he also learned it. Now he can already draw 4 runes. But he feels that it is still not enough, because if he wants to use inscription battle technique in battle, he needs to draw at least 6 runes. Now he is following Yang Shiryu. While walking, he is drawing runes with 1 hand and 2 fingers. The runes he drew are imprinted on the tree trunks of some big trees. If something stealthily follows them from behind, the runes on the big trees will react, and he will know. Sister Yang, although this place is also in the Cloud Dragon Mountain range, why is it so strange? Qin Yun also felt an indescribable sense of danger. I don't know either. In short, Sister Kiru said that this is the most dangerous place in the Cloud Dragon Mountain range. Yang Shiryu shook her head. Every time she walked, she would stop and carefully observe her surroundings. Qin Yun suddenly regretted not bringing the Heavenly Lion King along. If he encountered something powerful, he could use the complete Heavenly Lion Dragon Suppressing Cauldron. Qin Yun can feel that Yang Shiryu's soft lily-white hands are flowing with vigorous energy. After all, Yang Shiryu is one of the palace masters of the Guanghan Palace. Furthermore, her comprehension of martial arts cultivation techniques is extremely high. Her strength is also very strong. The immortal emperor power within Yang Shiryu's body is circulating. She can immediately unleash a powerful big move at any time. Xiao Yun, you are very strong now. Sister Yang also knows, but in her heart, she still regards you as someone to protect. Ling Yun'er laughed tenderly. Just like Big Sister. Back then, when Qin Yun met Yang Shiryu, he felt her kindness, causing his heart to immediately feel warm. Yun'er, what's going on with this place? Did you discover anything? Qin Yun thought to himself. Ling Yun'er's perception was sometimes inexplicably strong. Furthermore, she had absorbed a large number of ancient books, so her knowledge was very broad. I'm not too sure. I keep having the feeling that this place is going to erupt with heavenly tribulation at any time. Ling Yun'er said, do you have the same feeling? It's a bit like that kind of hidden danger. Once it appears, it seems like it can destroy the world. It does feel like a heavenly tribulation is coming. When Qin Yun heard Ling Yun'er's words, he felt the same way. Yang Shiryu brought Qin Yun in the direction pointed by the soul-chasing talisman. Xieqiru is there. They carefully ran through the forest, neither fast nor slow. This way, they could maintain their vigilance at all times. If they rushed too fast and there was an ambush in front of them, it would be difficult for them to escape. Along the way, Yang Shiryu's face was solemn, and she did not say a word. Qin Yun was also silent and maintained the highest level of vigilance. At noon, The three suns in the sky were very fierce. The falling sunlight was incomparably hot. Even in a forest covered by branches and leaves, it was still hot and humid. Yang Shiryu suddenly stopped and looked at the sky. She frowned and said, "Xiao Yun, do you feel something? It seems like something is falling." Qin Yun used the extinction spirit eye to penetrate the dense branches. He could see a purplish-red energy falling down. "Xiao Yun, prepare for battle." Yang Shiryu hurriedly shouted and took out a slender silver saber. Qin Yun was alarmed and hurriedly rushed forward. Boom! A purplish-red lightning bolt suddenly struck down and fell into the forest, erupting into a large area of thunder and lightning. Electric snakes blotted out the sky and earth, turning into a surging gale that rushed in all directions. Voila! A large area of trees in the forest was suddenly torn apart by countless flying electric snakes. Damn it! It's the thunder and lightning formed by the divine, universe, purple chi. Qin Yin was extremely alarmed. He held the floating cloud rod in his hand and looked behind him. He discovered that at the place where the lightning had landed, there was a cold and arrogant youth wearing a black luxurious robe and holding a black folding fan. Qin Yin only took a glance and saw that on the youth's folding fan, there were two words flashing with a bloody light, Heavenly Tao. He suddenly realized that the cold and arrogant youth was related to the Heavenly Tao. What a beautiful woman! To be able to meet such a beauty in this broken place. This is simply a fortuitous encounter. When the cold and arrogant youth saw Yang Shiryu, he licked his lips and smiled sinisterly. His figure suddenly flashed over. Swish! In the blink of an eye, the cold and arrogant youth flashed behind Yang Shiryu and said with a sinister smile, "You're mine." As he spoke, he stretched out his hand and released a black chain, wanting to tie Yang Shiryu up. The chain immediately bound Yang Shiryu. However, Yang Shiryu's body suddenly dissipated. It was just an illusion. Damn bastard. Don't even think about touching Big Sister Yang. Qin Yun used a very strong power and released a very strong tree claw, grabbing the cold and arrogant youth. After the cold and arrogant youth was firmly grabbed by the tree claw, his face was immediately filled with anger. He shouted, "Idiot, do you know who I am? I am a Heavenly Tao. Heavenly Tao your ass." Qin Yun cursed and rushed over. Yang Shiryu rushed ahead of Qin Yun and slashed down at the cold and arrogant youth. Boom! The explosion was accompanied by a dull, loud sound. The saber energy carried a fierce shockwave. This was the Heaven Annihilation 9 style Heaven Quake. The cold and arrogant youth was shaken to the point that he vomited a mouthful of blood. In his rage, his body surged with a very strong purple-red energy wave, instantly scattering the tree claw that bound him. "All of you, get," before the cold and arrogant youth could finish his words. Qin Yun jumped over and used the floating cloud rod to ruthlessly strike him. This rod strike was also the Heaven Annihilation 9 style, Heaven Quake. Its aura was even more ferocious, and it was accompanied by a vast and mighty heavenly might. Chapter 19:12. The icily arrogant youth was completely infuriated, but he was also in despair because he had greatly underestimated Qin Yun and Yang Shiryu's strength. In the beginning, he thought that Yang Shiryu was the strongest, so he did not place Qin Yun in his eyes at all. And after taking Qin Yun's rod strike just now, he knew that Qin Yun was not simple at all. Within the power that he released, there was a very strong divine, universe, purple chi. Although Yang Shiryu was a woman, she did not hesitate to deal with her enemies. Seeing that the arrogant youth had been beaten silly, she slashed down with her saber. The arrogant man still had some strength. Sensing the approaching danger, he immediately dodged. However, the hand holding the folding fan was chopped off by Yang Shiryu. Bang! Qin Yun, who was ready to strike, had already swept out the staff in his hand. Qin Yun's judgment was very accurate. The place where the rod struck was exactly where the arrogant man had dodged and landed. Therefore, the rod struck the arrogant man's head. The icily arrogant man screamed like a pig being slaughtered. As his body was sent flying, he coughed up blood and screamed. Tears fell from his eyes. When he first appeared, the cold and arrogant man was still awe-inspiring. However, he was only handsome for 3 seconds. In the blink of an eye, he was beaten to the point of crying for his parents by Qin Yun and Yang Shiyu's perfect cooperation. Qin Yun's floating cloud rod can store energy and then explode it. Its power is extremely terrifying. That icily arrogant man's head was hit with such great force, but his head did not explode. It can be seen that his body is very strong. Big brother, big sister, please spare me. I know I was wrong. The arrogant youth immediately begged for mercy and shouted. Yang Shiyu waved her hand, and the black fan that had fallen to the ground flew over. She held the fan in her hand and said coldly, "Is this fan yours?" "Yes, it's mine. I came from the heavenly Tao." Before the arrogant man could finish his words, Yang Shiyu waved the slender blade in her hand, leaving behind an arc of light in the air. When she slashed out with her saber, she instantly sent out hundreds of saber strikes, slicing that man's body into countless pieces. Qin Yun's hand that was holding the staff trembled, his face filled with shock. Because the silver saber in Yang Shiyu's hand was too sharp, one had to know that Qin Yun's rod did not even manage to smash the arrogant man's head. However, with a single slash from Yang Shiyu, the man's head and body were smashed into smithereens. "Sister Yang, what's with this fan?" Just as Qin Yun finished asking, Yang Shiyu used her mental power to control the fan to float in the air. Then, with a few quick slashes, she shattered the fan. Sister Kiru said that if you see someone with this kind of fan, you have to kill them as fast as possible. Don't waste your breath on them. Yang Shiyu's expression was grave as she said, "Xiao Yun, burn that guy." Qin Yun released Sacred Flame from 9 Heavens Dragon Line Cannon and burned the icily arrogant youth's body. "Sister Yang, your saber is really sharp," Qin Yun praised. He was very curious about the fan with the words Heavenly Tao written on it. What was going on? "This blade was given to me by Big Sister Star God." The solemn and ice-cold Yang Shiyu suddenly smiled at Qin Yun and said, "At that time, Sister Kiru said that this saber is very suitable for me. Later on, it was refined by moon core and became very strong." "Moon core refinement?" Qin Yun asked in bewilderment. "What's that?" "That's the center of the moon. There's a very strong moon core fire pool there. This is the secret of the Guanghan Palace. Right now, the entire moon is under our control." Yang Shiyu said, "When there's a chance, I'll take you to see that mysterious moon core." The moon changed before, and a large group of women from the Guanghan Palace were summoned back. They said that they had to seize the time to cultivate and whatnot. A very strong barrier also appeared outside the moon, causing the moon to look a lot bigger. The moon has indeed changed a lot. "Let's go. Let's continue our journey. Hurry up and find Sister Kiru," Yang Shiyu said. She continued to pull Qin Yun's hand and ran through the forest. Qin Yun now knows why Yang Shiyu is so vigilant. For example, that icily arrogant youth just now is a very strong guy. Moreover, he suddenly appeared. If he was ambushed, it is very likely that he would be seriously injured. "Sister Yang, do you know where that guy from just now came from?" Qin Yun asked. Sister Kiru said that they are from the heavenly law divine realm. "I don't know the specifics," Yang Shiyu said. At this moment, Yang Shiyu regained her serious appearance because she wanted to pay attention to the situation around her. Until late at night, Qin Yun and Yang Shiyu did not encounter any attacks. Late at night, when they were resting, Qin Yun took out the floating cloud pagoda and entered with Yang Shiyu. Their speed was not fast, but because they were always vigilant, it was very tiring. They are resting now to recover their lost mental energy. During the rest time, they cultivated together. Moreover, it's the second layer of the Sun and Moonheart Sutra spirit fusion technique. Yang Shiyu once again appeared in Qin Yun's mental world, which made Ling Yun very happy. Although this is an illusory space, it is very real when they come into contact. This is equivalent to soul contact. When Ling Yun saw Yang Shiyu, she immediately hugged this great beauty and kept shouting that Big Sister Yang is so beautiful. Furthermore, she asked many questions about cultivation spirits. Yang Shiryu previously discussed with Ling Yun'er about the use of Nether Sun power, which benefited Ling Yun'er greatly. At this time, she also imparted some fairy cultivation knowledge to Qin Yun and Ling Yun'er. If Qin Yun wants to help Ling Yun'er cultivate a body, he needs their cooperation. They rested until late at night and recovered. Then, they continued their journey. At night, they ran in the forest. During the day, the forest was very hot and stuffy, but at night, it was very cool and chilly. Sister Yang, there's no moon in the Cloud Dragon Mountain Range. I remember there used to be, Qin Yun said. Because the moon has been isolated, now only the immortal desolate can see the moon. There's a problem with the sacred desolate and divine desolate's moons. Yang Shiryu said, I see. Qin Yun finally understood and said, we can still see 3 suns here. That means we are still in the 9 suns heavenly domain. Yes, this space is formed from the energy of the 9 suns heavenly realm, so we can see the 9 suns. Yang Shiryu nodded. They hurried on in the middle of the night. When it was almost dawn, the sky suddenly turned gray, as if it was accumulating rain. It was a gloomy morning, and the earth was lifeless. In the forest, the chilly wind was accompanied by coldness. Suddenly, a very strong energy wave surged and roared, causing the branches and leaves of the giant trees in the forest to shake violently, issuing a hua-hua-hua noise. Yang Shiryu suddenly stopped. Not good. This power belongs to divine Cosmos Evil Dragon. Qin Yun said with frown and gritted his teeth. How did this guy come so fast? It's not divine Cosmos Evil Dragon. It's the Dragon Pearl. Yang Shiryu said. Really? Qin Yun said in shock. Dragon Pearl has such a terrifying power. When we were chasing after this Dragon Pearl, because the power it released was too strong, it caused our formation barrier to shatter. Even if we joined hands, it would be very difficult to suppress the Dragon Pearl. Yang Shiryu said with frown. Could it be that Sister Kiru and the others are suppressing the Dragon Pearl? Then let's hurry over and help. Qin Yun said. Wait, if they're suppressing the Dragon Pearl, then the commotion is so big. It means that many people will be attracted over. Yang Shiryu said in low voice. We must be careful and get rid of those guys lying in ambush nearby. Are they all using that kind of black fan? Qin Yun said in shock. There are at least 3 groups of people looking for the Dragon Pearl. Yang Shiryu tightly gripped the hilt of her saber and said in low voice, Someone is coming. Yang Shiryu is extremely vigilant. After sensing that a few people are approaching, her killing intent immediately surged out, and she very bravely charged towards those people. And Qin Yun also promptly released tree claws to coordinate with Yang Shiryu. Stop! An old man suddenly appeared in a flash and used a black walking stick in his hand to block Yang Shiryu's slender silver saber. In the instant of collision, energy waves surged and blew away the surrounding trees. We are not enemies. The old man sensed Yang Shiryu's terrifying killing intent and hastily shouted, It's Miss Xie who told us to come. Yang Shiryu immediately retracted her hand and returned to Qin Yun's side. Qin Yun is still using tree claws to grab those 5 youths. Those 5 youths don't know that it was Qin Yun who did it, because Qin Yun is still standing at his original spot. At this moment, Qin Yun and Yang Shiryu are also observing these people. Those 5 youths are very strong, but they are still inferior to the cold and arrogant youth who attacked them earlier. If not for the appearance of that powerful old man, those 5 youths would have died long ago. Then why are you guys sneaking around? Yang Shiryu said coldly. We thought it was someone from the heavenly law divine realm. The old man said, You should be Miss Yang, right? We are from the Heaven Suppressing Sect. This old man is Elder Pang of the Heaven Suppressing Sect. Heaven Suppressing Sect? Do you have a token? Yang Shiryu asked. The old man took out a medallion and threw it to Yang Shiryu. After Yang Shiryu looked at it, she nodded and returned the medallion to the old man. At this moment, Qin Yun also kept the tree claws. Miss Yang, who is this little brother? Logically speaking, there shouldn't be any men in the Guanghan Palace right now, right? Could it be that this is a woman disguised as a man? Elder Pang asked. These people from the heaven-suppressing sect were all wearing white robes and looked like they were from a righteous sect. I'm a man, Qin Yun shouted and walked to Yang Shiyu's side. He said, Big Sister Yang, the dragon pearl is right in front of us. What's going on? Hearing Qin Yun call Qin Yun Big Sister Yang, the people from the heaven-suppressing sect immediately felt that Qin Yun was Yang Shiyu's little brother. Yang Shiyu looked at the old man and asked, Elder Pang, the dragon pearl is right in front of us, right? The dragon pearl has been temporarily sealed by us, but the fellows from a heavenly law divine realm will definitely come and snatch it. Elder Pang said, so we have to get rid of the dragon pearl as soon as possible. How? Qin Yun asked. It's to use the dragon pearl as a sacrifice to the heavens. The reason why so many people are fighting over that dragon pearl is because it's an excellent sacrifice to the heavens. Elder Pang said. Yang Shiyu nodded and said, hurry up and bring us there. Chapter 19:13. Qin Yun knew that a large amount of divine universe purple chi was approaching. The people of the natural law divine realm all had a very strong divine universe purple chi on them. The cold and arrogant youth that he and Yang Shuriwa had killed before had a very strong divine universe violet chi. Qin Yun was very curious about the heavenly law divine realm because the divine universe purple chi they cultivated came from the divine universe amethyst. The divine universe evil dragon claimed to be a divine beast of Tian Fa and that it was under the command of some heavenly Tao, and it had also cultivated a very powerful divine universe purple chi. When Qin Yun was in Evil Dragon City, he met 3 old men. They claimed to be heavenly guards and were guarding a divine universe amethyst. Do you want me to help? Yang Shiryu asked. She also looked at the direction where the divine universe purple chi was coming from. Her face became serious because the divine universe purple chi was very strong, and there were a lot of people from the natural law divine realm. Miss Yang, someone from the heaven-suppressing gate will come out to stop us. I'll bring you to the heaven-suppressing gate first. Elder Pang said as he rushed towards the direction of the Dragon Ball. Qin Yun had many questions in his mind, but he did not ask them. He quietly followed behind Yang Shiryu. Yang Shiryu asked, Elder Pang, is the heaven-suppressing gate nearby? Elder Pang nodded. Yes, we have obtained the dragon orb and sealed it in the gate of heaven. The dragon pearl of the divine universe evil dragon was definitely something very important. Otherwise, the natural law divine realm would not have sent so many people over. Sister Yang, you previously said that there are at least 3 groups of people searching for the dragon pearl, other than the heaven-suppressing sect and the heavenly law divine realm. Who else is there? Qin Yun asked Yang Shuriwe with a voice transmission. There's also a very mysterious heaven old race. Yang Shiryu replied to Qin Yun with a sound transmission. This is what Sister Kiru told me. She said that the ancient heaven race and the heaven-suppressing sect are considered righteous sects. Natural law divine realm is not. We're not too sure about the specific situation of these 3 powers. Qin Yun and Yang Shiryu followed Elder Pang. After passing through an ancient forest, they saw an ocean. Is this still the Cloud Dragon Mountain Range? Qin Yun exclaimed. There was actually a sea in the Cloud Dragon Mountain Range. At the edge of the Cloud Dragon Mountain Range, Elder Pang said, the heaven-suppressing gate is right ahead. Qin Yun can see a black dot in front of him. It looks like an island. At that moment, countless specks of light appeared in the sky ahead. A large number of people were flying in the sky, releasing powerful barriers around them. Those are all warriors of my heaven-suppressing sect. They're going to deal with those fellows from the natural law divine realm. Elder Pang heaved a sigh of relief before flying towards the ocean with Qin Yun and Yang Shiryu. Not long after, Qin Yun saw the heaven-suppressing gate floating above the sea. It is extremely huge, like a very sturdy city. The city walls were very tall and thick, reaching a height of 3,000 zhang, forming a huge octagonal shape. Looking down from the sky, one could see many tall mountains and buildings within the walls. Ancient and magnificent buildings were built on the top of the mountain or halfway up the mountain. Within the walls, there were many rivers and waterfalls, as well as various kinds of birds and beasts. Qin Yun saw a flock of giant birds that were several meters long flying past a waterfall that flowed down from the heavenly river. "Is this the heaven-suppressing gate?" Qin Yun exclaimed in admiration. "So powerful." Yang Shiryu was also very shocked. There were quite a few powerful things hidden in the sea at the edge of the Cloud Dragon mountain range. Elder Pang led them in through the main gate. Then he looked at the sky behind them and said, "They didn't fight. They should be negotiating." "Does this happen often?" Yang Shiryu asked. "Yes." Elder Pang nodded. Qin Yun found it very strange. The various powers hidden in the Cloud Dragon mountain range should be very ancient. He had never heard of them in the Immortal Desolate. This made him somewhat worried. There were so many ancient powers in the Cloud Dragon mountain range. It was very likely that they were going for the Immortal Graveyard. After Elder Pang brought Qin Yun and Yang Shiryu here, he felt a lot more at ease. Then, he arranged for them to stay in a small building halfway up a mountain. The small building was located halfway up a mountain. Standing at the door, Qin Yun could see the scenery of the heaven-suppressing gate. "Big Sister Yang, this heaven-suppressing gate is really powerful," Qin Yun said with a frown. "I wonder what relationship Sister Kiru has with the heaven-suppressing gate. It seems like their relationship is quite good." Kiru knew a lot of things. She had also awakened her memories bit by bit. "At least they are safe here." Yang Shiryu said, "I wonder what they're doing in the heaven-suppressing gate. They didn't directly come to see us. Could it be that they are cultivating?" Qin Yun said. "Otherwise, they would have come." "Xiao Yun, do you think the Heaven Creation Divine Palace has anything to do with the heaven-suppressing gate?" Yang Shiryu pulled Qin Yun back to the hall. Qin Yun also thought of this matter before. After he sat down, he gently caressed Yang Shiryu's lily-white hand and said, "One heaven creation, one heaven suppressing? Heaven creation, heaven suppressing? If there really is a relationship, could they be enemies?" Yang Shiryu and Qin Yun squeezed into a chair. The two of them leaned on each other very intimately. Suddenly, Yang Shiryu jumped up because someone has arrived. The person who arrived is Elder Pang. Elder Pang brought a masked woman in a white dress over. Although the woman is wearing a mask, Qin Yun can immediately recognize that she is Lu Yu Shuyan. "You guys take your time. This old man will take his leave." After Elder Pang brought Lu Yu Shuyan over, he immediately left. Lu Yu Shuyan entered the hall, closed the door, and immediately arrived beside Qin Yun. She pinched Qin Yun's handsome face and said with a gentle smile, "Xiao Yun, you're crazy. Is that so? Why didn't I notice?" Yang Shiryu spoke. She also touched Qin Yun's face and said with a smile, "I don't think so." Qin Yun's handsome face was touched and pinched by two soft and gentle hands. He felt very helpless in his heart. "Sister Shuyan, the God position totem on your face still hasn't retreated?" Qin Yun asked because Long Yu Qing and Princess Anya's God position totem have already hidden into their bodies. Lu Yu Shuyan sighed and said, "Not yet. I also hope that you can see the beautiful me sooner." "Sister Shuyan, why are you the only one here? Where are those two hoodlums?" Yang Shiryu said with a smile. "The young husband is here. Why aren't they coming over?" After Lu Yu Shuyan sat down, she said, "They are together with Xiao Rou. They're tossing around some things." Xiao Rou asked them to help. "Tossing around what?" Qin Yun curiously asked. "Secret." After Lu Yu Shuyan finished speaking, she looked all around and said, "Where is Rujing? Why didn't she come?" "She is cultivating her fairy. Xiao Yun hit her," Yang Shiryu said with smile. Qin Yun let out Zi Qingsheng, Shui Tianzi, and Long Tianji. The three of them spent a very long time with Sister Yao Fong. Their feelings for each other are very deep. Soon after, Qin Yun told Lu Yu Shuyan about how he killed the Devil Immortal Great Emperor. Xiao Yun, the Devil Immortal Great Emperor's 9-sun world extermination scripture is only half a bucket of water. Even though he obtained it, he didn't cultivate it well. Lu Yu Shuyan giggled and said, "Not only that guy didn't cultivate it well, he even went astray." Yang Shi Yu said. To cultivate the nine-sun world extermination scripture, one must have world extermination spirit. Qin Yun recalled Su Xiaoba. This Su Wudi tyrant is also in Creation Heaven City. He followed Netherworld Great Emperor and others here. When dealing with the evil spirits and heavenly monsters, this guy's achievement was also very astonishing. Therefore, many Creation Heaven Cities people respectfully call him Brother Tyrant. The world extermination spirit came from Su Xiaoba. Xiao Yuanmei used her own mirror to record it. Later on, Qin Yun and Xiao Yuanmei cooperated and refined a world extermination spirit for Lu Yushuyan. I forgot to kidnap Yuanmei. Qin Yun patted his thigh and said with some vexation, "That little girl is inside the divine inscription mountain. No rush. Anyway, Shuriwe and I will join hands. We can help you master the nine-sun world extermination scripture very quickly." Lu Yushuyan said with smile. "Sister Shuyan, you have a clone in Divine Desolate. I remember he went to find Sister Star God, right?" Xiaoyan said that he can't contact Sister Star God. Yang Shi Yu suddenly said. Lu Yushuyan nodded and said, "Star God is in seclusion. The offerings that Xiao Yun gave her before were simply too generous." Qin Yun said with smile, "I have prepared a lot of things. When she comes out, I will offer them to her." That Dragon Ball, what happened? How did it fall into the hands of the heaven-suppressing sect? Long Tianji curiously asked. The situation at that time was very complicated. We were the first to discover the Dragon Pearl. Then the people of the Heaven Old Race suddenly jumped out. And finally, the Heaven-suppressing gate appeared. When the Heaven Old Race saw the people from the Heaven-suppressing sect, they immediately ran away. Lu Yushuyan said. Later on, the people from the Heaven-suppressing sect joined hands with us to take down the Dragon Pearl. Qin Yun said. In other words, obtaining the Dragon Pearl was the result of your cooperation with the Heaven-suppressing sect. Lu Yushuyan sighed. Yes, both of us know very well that if we don't cooperate, we won't be able to obtain the Dragon Balls. After some discussion, we decided to use the Dragon Ball as a sacrifice to the heavens. Sacrifice to the heavens. Qin Yun has been wondering what this is all about. Back when he was inside the Heavenly Law altar, he was almost sacrificed. The immortal graveyard is sealed by the heavens. If you want the immortal graveyard to come out, you have to sacrifice to the heavens. As for where it will appear after the sacrifice, I have no idea. Lu Yushuyan suddenly said in a low voice. The heaven-suppressing sect guys agreed to let Xiao Ro and the others go to the heaven-suppressing sect's sacred land to cultivate. Begin the sacrificial ceremony. Sister Shuyan, do you know what's going on with the Heavenly Law Divine Realm? Qin Yun asked. I don't know. In short, Xiao Ro said that those guys all claim to represent the Heavenly Tao. They're a very mysterious and ancient force. The divine Cosmos Evil Dragon was created by them to destroy the Nine-Sun Heavenly Domain, but was stopped by the Nine-Sun Royal Family. Lu Yushuyan said. Qin Yun was now relieved. As long as the sacrifice to the heavens succeeded, the immortal graveyard would appear in the Cloud Dragon Mountain Range. Suddenly, a series of beast roars came from outside. Lu Yushuyan frowned. The people from Heaven Old Race are here. Are the people of the Heaven Old Race all beasts? Zi Qingchang said in surprise. There are beasts, humans, orcs, and so on. In short, they are very strong. Let's go out and have a look, Lu Yushuyan said. Chapter 1914. When Qin Yun saw the gigantic azure dragon, he thought that it was not the azure dragon he was familiar with. However, when he sensed the aura, he was very sure that it was the azure dragon of his inscription gate. Back then, when they had just arrived at the Cloud Dragon Mountain Range, Black Rat by Zay and the three dragons had felt a very magical call. Then, they chased after the call. Inscription beasts like the Black Donkey and Old Fox Huang also sensed the call, but they didn't go. Qin Yun had always wanted to know where Bai Zai and the three dragons had gone. There had been no news of them for so many days. Now that he saw the azure dragon outside, it meant that they were all in this area. Sister Shuyan, is it really the people from the heaven ancient race? Qinyan asked. It should be. Lu Yu Shuyan nodded her head. We met the fellows from the heaven old race before. Their auras are probably like this. The power aura that Lu Shuyan was talking about was not the one released by the azure dragon, but a few other powerful auras. Qinyan was already at the peak immortal emperor realm. Even if he encountered an expert who had just become a sacred, he would still be able to put up a fight. In this realm, he was very clear that only those people or beasts that absorbed the divine universe violet chi were his opponents. And the auras he felt from the heaven old race were not the divine universe purple chi. However, it gave him a very strong feeling. Only a few of them came. Qin Yun and Yang Shuriwa followed Lu Yu and Shu Yan and flew towards the gate. On the heaven old race's side, only a few people are releasing their auras. From the looks of it, they are definitely here to quarrel. Yang Shuryu said in a low voice, Xiao Yun, we'll just wait and watch from behind. Leave this matter to the heaven-suppressing sect. Lu Yu, Shu Yin, and Yang Shuriwa know that Azure Dragon and Qinyan know each other, and their relationship is very good. And I got it, Qinyan nodded. After the Azure Dragon transformed into its huge body, it flew in front of the heaven-suppressing gate and roared loudly. This way of shouting was indeed very domineering. In just a short while, everyone in the heaven-suppressing sect knew that the people from the heaven old race had arrived. Yang Shuryu said, Heaven ancient race and heaven suppressing school should both be righteous forces. If they were to fight, wouldn't they be laughed at by the natural law divine realm? It's not strange for there to be a conflict between the forces of the righteous path. However, for such a huge righteous faction, when there was a conflict, they would have other ways to resolve it. There are very few large-scale conflicts. Louis Weshuyan said. When they flew towards the gate, many experts from the heaven-suppressing sect also flew out. The Azure Dragon in the air suddenly transformed into a burly man and landed in the crowd outside the gate. There are not many people from the heaven old race, only 100 or so, but there were thousands of people flying out of the heaven-suppressing sect. In comparison, the number of people from the heaven old race was pitifully small. Friends of the heaven old race, your actions just now have scared us. An old man from the heaven-suppressing sect chuckled and said, We thought you were going to attack our heaven-suppressing sect. The 100 or so people from the heaven old race could be considered relatively gentle. They all looked like humans, but most of them were beasts that had turned into humans. High in the sky, Qin Yun immediately saw the 3 dragons and Bai Zhe. They were also in the crowd. They're all here. Could it be that they were all called away by the heaven old race using a secret technique? Qin Yun felt that it was strange. The heaven old race actually possessed a very mysterious power. Even though they were so far away, they could still communicate with those powerful inscription beasts. On the side of the heaven old race, an old man wearing beast skin and with a pair of bull horns on his head walked out and said with a smile, Our heaven old race is really going to attack the heaven-suppressing sect. We might have already reached the heaven-suppressing sect's sacred grounds. Ancient Ox Demon, you still like to brag as much as before. The old man from the heaven-suppressing sect laughed and said, Why do you have to put on such a big show? It's really scary. Elderly, all of you saw just now, right? The Ancient Ox Demon laughed. I saw it. Isn't it just the Azure Dragon? Elderly waved his hand and said with a smile, Congratulations to your heaven old race. Another heaven old beast has returned. The Ancient Ox Demon chuckled and said, We are not here to show off to you. We are here to discuss the matter of the Dragon Pearl with you. Speaking of the Dragon Pearl, the people of the heaven-suppressing sect became noisy. This was because the Dragon Pearl was within the heaven-suppressing sect. The heaven old race had appeared here and caused such a huge commotion, making people feel that they wanted to snatch the Dragon Pearl. Qin Yin had been looking at the 100 or so people from the heaven old race. Not only did he see the black rat by Zhe and the 3 dragons, he also saw a familiar person from the depths of his memories. That person was someone he had met in the Hua Ling Wu school. He was a teacher who had once guided him. and his name was Ding Tianxun. Back then, Ding Tianxuan's son was poisoned. After his son successfully detoxified the poison, in order to prevent others from taking revenge on him, he brought his son away from the Hua Lingwu school. Although it was a memory from many years ago, Qin Yun still remembered this teacher Ding. He was a good person he had met when he entered the Hua Lingwu school. Sister Yang, is that teacher Ding? Qin Yun floated in the air and looked at the crowd outside the door. Yang Shu also looked at a square-faced man with thick eyebrows and said with some surprise, "It's him. I never thought that I would be able to see him again after so many years." "Who is he? Is he powerful?" Lu Yu Shuyan asked curiously. "He's a person who has done a lot of research on beasts." Yang Shu laughed. "I don't know if he's strong or not, but for him to be able to appear here, he's definitely not weak." The seniors of the heaven-suppressing sect were all worried that the heaven old race would snatch the dragon pearl. This was because there were a large number of beasts in the heaven old race. In most people's impression, beasts were very barbaric. If the heaven old race wanted to snatch the dragon pearl, then a great battle was inevitable. The heaven-suppressing sect did not want to start a war with the heaven old race, because once both sides were injured, that fellow from the natural law divine realm would be able to take advantage of the situation and enter. "The dragon pearl belongs to our heaven-suppressing sect." Elderly frowned and said, "Ancient bull demon, what are you planning to talk about? I know that you want to use the dragon pearl to sacrifice to the heavens, right?" The ancient bull demon said, "Yes." Elderly nodded. "How about this? Give us the dragon pearl. Don't sacrifice it to the heavens, because that's not good for anyone." The ancient bull demon said, "Give it to you?" Elderly laughed. "Ancient bull demon, this joke isn't funny at all." The ancient bull demon laughed out loud. "If we really sacrifice to the heavens, will that heaven burial mausoleum really appear? Whether the heaven burial mausoleum will appear or not, we'll have to try to find out." Elderly said, "Besides, if it appears, it will be beneficial to you, right? No matter how you say it, it won't be beneficial to anyone." Qin Yin was secretly alarmed. The original name of the immortal graveyard was indeed called the Heaven Burial Land, and the people of the Heaven Old Race and the Heaven Suppressing sect called it the Heaven Burial Mausoleum. Although the names were different, they were all about the same. It was also because it had been too long that it had become the immortal graveyard. If we really sacrifice to the heavens, who knows what will happen? The ancient bull demon said, "Does your heaven-suppressing sect know that the divine universe evil dragon has already broken the seal?" That's impossible, right? Back then, the seal on the divine universe evil dragon was very tight. Besides, even if the divine universe evil dragon runs out, isn't there still the heaven creation god palace to protect it? Although Elderly looked calm on the surface, he was panicking in his heart, because the thousands of people in the heaven-suppressing sect were discussing this matter with fear. The ancient bull demon shook his head and shouted, "You all think too highly of the heaven creation god palace." Back then, the majority of the heaven creation god palace's resources were given to your heaven-suppressing sect. Furthermore, because the heaven creation god palace violated the taboo, it caused them to fall out of favor. Qin Yun was secretly alarmed. The heaven creation god palace and the heaven suppressing sect were indeed related. From the looks of it, there seemed to be people above the heaven creation god palace and the heaven suppressing sect taking care of them. Even if the divine universe evil dragon comes, isn't there still your heaven old race? If your heaven old race and our heaven-suppressing sect join hands, dealing with the divine universe evil dragon will definitely not be a problem. Elderly said, "We have already discussed the matter of the sacrifice to the heavens. It is impossible to change it." The ancient bull demon shook his head. "After the sacrifice, I am worried that the power of the dragon pearl will return to the divine universe evil dragon's body. At that time, if our two families join hands, we will definitely not be able to deal with the divine universe evil dragon. Furthermore, those bastards from the heavenly law divine realm are eyeing us covetously." Impossible. The prophecy said that if we use the divine beast dragon pearl to sacrifice to the heavens, the heaven burial mausoleum will appear. Elderly said, the energy of the dragon pearl will all be used to undo the seal on the heaven burial mausoleum and will not return to the divine universe evil dragon's body. The prophecy cannot be trusted. If the energy of the dragon pearl flows back into the divine universe evil dragon's body and the heaven burial mausoleum appears, then the divine universe evil dragon will enter the heaven burial mausoleum and take back his heart. Then we will all be finished. The ancient bull demon said, these are all your guesses, and they are all baseless guesses. Elderly laughed a few times and said, ancient bull demon, we have already decided to sacrifice to the heavens. You will know when the time comes. The ancient bull demon was very angry. He stomped his feet vigorously, causing the ground to tremble. Ancient bull demon, you can't use force. Although there have been many small conflicts between your ancient heaven race and our heaven-suppressing sect over the years, there has never been a huge battle because we all know very well that this is not beneficial to either of us. Elderly said, Elderly, where is your heaven-suppressing sex leader? I want to talk to him. The ancient bull demon said, quickly get him out. The leader of the heaven-suppressing sect is already in the divine wasteland. Isn't the patriarch of your ancient heaven race also in the ancient wasteland? Right now, it is us elders who are in charge. You are the little clan elder of the ancient heaven race, and I am the little clan elder of the heaven-suppressing sect. Elderly said. Chapter 19:15. Qin Yun is extremely apprehensive after hearing this. That ancient ox devil actually has a little nether son. He is suddenly very curious. What kind of little nether son is? Is it the same as his nether son? Ling Yun found out that there is a little nether son and immediately became excited. She delicately shouted in Qin Yun's mental world, Xiao Yun, think of a way to get it. If we can get that little nether son, it will become my life crystal. I will also cultivate nether sun, and together with your nether sun, we will be invincible. It's not easy. Let's leave it to fate, Qin Yun said in his heart. Of course he wants it, but something like little nether sun must be very precious. Qin Yun noticed Elder Li's expression. He is actually very excited. The other heaven-suppressing sect disciples and elders are all discussing in amazement. It can be seen that little nether sun is very attractive to the heaven-suppressing sect. Heavenly ancient race's little nether sun is said to be only the size of a fist, but it is very powerful. It is a supreme treasure that can allow their heavenly ancient race to flourish for a long time. A heaven-suppressing sect disciple said in amazement. Yeah, I heard that little nether sun can be fused with a body and become a life crystal. This is impossible. How can a body be so weak and small? How can it contain such a powerful little nether sun? That's right. It will definitely be turned into mincemeat by little nether sun's power. Many heaven-suppressing sect disciples are discussing this matter one after another. Yang Shiyu and Lu Yushuyan both know that Qin Yun has a nether sun. It could be considered a little nether sun. Are you really willing to take out little nether sun to gamble? Elderly can no longer resist the temptation and asked, Of course it's true. How about we all take a gamble? Ancient Ox Devil said with smile. Even if you lose, you will only lose a dragon pearl. Anyway, the Dragon Ball is not important to the heavenly suppressing sect. Consider it an unexpected gain. An elder from heavenly ancient race said, Our heavenly ancient race is different from you. If I lose, then our clan's supreme treasure will become yours. To us, it will be a heavy loss. Elderly said, Let's gamble, but we must sign a soul contract. Each of us will have 10 elders sign the contract. If we go back on our words, then 10 elders will die. How about it? All right. The ancient bull demon laughed. My heaven old race will send out the 10 strongest elders to sign a soul contract with you. If you act shamelessly, then 10 of our elders will die, and I will also participate in the signing of the contract. All right, I will also participate in signing the soul contract. Elderly chuckled and said, Same old rules, send people out to fight, And if they win, they win. All right, it's settled then. The ancient ox devil laughed. Elderly, let's sign the soul contract. Just as Elder Li and the other 9 elders were about to fly over, Lu Shuyan suddenly shouted, "Wait, Lady Lu Yu, what's wrong?" Elder Li and the rest stopped and looked towards Lu Yu and Shuyan. Elders, don't forget that the Dragon Pearl is only in the heaven-suppressing sect. It doesn't belong to you all. Our Moon Palace also has half. Lu Yu Shuyan said, "You didn't talk to us before taking the Dragon Pearl to gamble. That's not good, right?" Qinyan is also very unhappy. If they win, heaven-suppressing sect will get a small nether sun, but what if they lose? If the Dragon Pearl was given to the Heaven Old race, then how is the Guanghan Palace going to make up for its losses? These things have not been discussed yet, and Elderly wants to go over and sign the soul contract. This is simply ignoring the Moon Palace, causing Lu Yu Shuyan and Yang Shiyu to be very angry. Lady Lu Yu, back then when we obtained the Dragon Pearl, our heaven-suppressing sect contributed the most. We have the right to make any decision, Elderly said with a smile. What's more, didn't your Moon Palace's people also enter our sacred land to cultivate? Entering your sacred land to cultivate. That's your invitation. There's no exchange. Lu Yu Shuyan snorted. Back then, several of your elders were poisoned, and we saved you. That's why you invited us, to enter your sacred land to cultivate. But no matter what, without our heaven-suppressing sect, the Dragon Pearl would have run away in the end. Isn't that so? Elderly said. But without us, you wouldn't have been able to discover the Dragon Pearl, much less catch up. Lu Yu Shuyan is somewhat angry and said coldly, "Moreover, when we were sealing the Dragon Pearl, we also put in a lot of effort." Yang Shiyu said, "That's why it's wrong to say who contributed the most. Both of us have half of the credit." Lu Yu Shuyan coldly snorted and said, "We clearly have half of the Dragon Pearl. Why did you take it out to gamble and not discuss it with us? It's not like we aren't here." Lu Yu Shuyan and Yang Shiyu are here, but Elderly didn't discuss this matter with them. Clearly, they don't put the Moon Palace in their eyes at all. No matter what, the Dragon Pearl is now in our heaven-suppressing sect. Our heaven-suppressing sect consumes a lot of energy to suppress and seal the Dragon Pearl every day. Elderly's voice also became a bit colder and said, "Your Moon Palace only has a few people, and our heaven-suppressing sect used a lot of power to suppress the Dragon Pearl." Lu Yu Shuyan's voice sank and said coldly, "So you're saying that the Dragon Pearl completely belongs to the heaven-suppressing sect?" "Not really. I just think that our heaven-suppressing sect has the right to make any decision. If we win this bet, the little nether sun we obtain will belong to our heaven-suppressing sect. Of course, we will use other methods to compensate you." Elderly's voice is filled with majesty and coldly said, "It's decided. Yes, don't worry. If we lose, we will compensate you." Lu Yu Shuyan is very angry. The killing intent on her body could not be suppressed. "Sister Shuyan, don't be angry." Yang Shiyu suddenly held Lu Yu Shuyan's hand and said in a low voice, "We are not their match." Qinyan had also observed that if they were to fight, they would not be able to defeat so many powerful elders of the heaven-suppressing sect. Furthermore, they're still in the heaven-suppressing sect, and Siekaru and the others are cultivating in the heaven-suppressing sect's sacred land. The current situation is very disadvantageous to them. The people from the ancient Heaven clan also saw Lu Yu Shuyan and Elderly quarreling. The Black Rabbi Zay and the 3 dragons all saw Qinyan. They were shocked to see their boss here, but they didn't say anything. Ding Tianchun's memory is not bad. When he saw Qinyan and Yang Shiyu, he sighed with emotion in his heart and also wanted to chat with Qinyan. Elderly brought the 9 elders and went to sign the contract with the ancient bull demon. "Elderly, that Dragon Pearl is not completely yours. If you lose the Dragon Pearl to our ancient Heaven clan, will the Guanghan Palace come looking for trouble with us?" The ancient bull demon laughed. "How about this? If the Guanghan Palace comes looking for trouble with us, this is your responsibility. You have to make a soul contract. Make an explanation. All right, if the Guanghan Palace comes looking for trouble with you, will block them. Elderly laughed. Ancient bull demon, don't worry. Lu Yu Shuyan gritted her teeth. She was so angry that she wanted to start a massacre. Qinyan said in a low voice, Sister Shuyan, let's wait and see. Even if the dragon pearl falls into the hands of the ancient heaven clan, it doesn't matter much. The black rat by Zay and the 3 dragons were in the ancient heaven clan. Qinyan felt that he could use them to talk to the ancient heaven clan. When Elder Li signed the soul contract, he had also offered some conditions that were beneficial to them. For example, the ancient heaven clan could not send beasts to fight, or they were not allowed to send beastmen. Beasts and beastmen were both very strong, especially the azure dragon that appeared just now. It was very scary. That was why the heaven-suppressing sect made such a request. The ancient heaven clan readily agreed. It could be seen that they were confident in their victory. Generally speaking, both sides were very confident in this kind of bet. If he won, he would be able to obtain a treasure. This kind of temptation was simply too great, especially the rare little nether sun, which made Elder Li and the others extremely fanatical. Ding Zheng, come and fight, the ancient bull demon said with a smile. Beside Ding Tianchun, there was a white-clothed youth with delicate features. With a smile on his face, he nodded and said, Old ox, I will definitely win. Ah Zheng, correct your mentality, don't be arrogant. Ding Tianchun sternly warned. Got it, Dad, I'll definitely win. Ding Zheng was Ding Tianchuan's son. He chuckled and flew out. Not far from the entrance of the heaven-suppressing gate was a sea. The place of battle was also on the surface of the sea. There was no stage or barrier. Therefore, during the battle, the aftermath of the explosion would definitely be very strong. As for the heaven-suppressing gate, it had tall and thick walls and the protection of a barrier. Even if it was at the side of the fierce battle, it wouldn't be affected. At this moment, the entire heaven-suppressing gate was slightly floating, leaving the surface of the sea. This way, it could avoid being hit by the surging waves. When Elder Li saw Ding Zheng, he chuckled and said, Ancient bull demon, have you confirmed your candidate? Ding Zheng looked like a young and energetic young man. I've confirmed it. It's time for you to send someone to fight. Hurry up, we're in a hurry. The ancient bull demon rubbed the pair of horns on his head. He was also a beast man, so he couldn't fight. At this time, a large group of heaven-suppressing gate experts flew back. These were the people who had gone to talk to the natural law divine realm. When they returned, they found out that the heaven-suppressing gate was going to send people to fight with the ancient heaven race. They were all looking forward to the results. Elder Li smiled and said, All right, this battle will be fought by this old man. My old bones will definitely suffer a lot against these young men, but it doesn't matter. As long as I don't die, I can still fight. Many people cursed Elder Li for being shameless in their hearts, because no matter how they looked at it, Elder Li was stronger. Then thank you, Elder Li. The ancient bull demon laughed. Ding Zheng, the other party is an old grandpa. When you attack, you have to show mercy, don't break his old bones. Ding Zheng smiled slightly. All right, I won't hit his body, I'll only hit his head. That way his skeleton won't fall apart. From Ding Zheng's words, everyone knew that this young man was the more arrogant type. He actually wanted to beat the head of an elder like Elder Li. Lu Yu Shuyan really wanted to go over and beat up Elder Li, and scolded in a low voice. This old fellow, from the looks of it, he's definitely going to lose. Chapter 1916. The way Ding Zheng acted was indeed very confident. He looked like a young man, yet he was so arrogant in front of an elder. This caused many people from the heaven-suppressing sect to mock him repeatedly. Our Elder Li is one of the top 10 experts of the heaven-suppressing sect. This brat doesn't even look like he has grown all his hair, yet he's actually so arrogant. Wait a moment, I don't even know how he lost. A middle-aged elder from the heaven-suppressing sect sneered. That brat's name is Ding Zheng, and he's Ding Tianchuan's youngest son. He does have some ability, but to let him fight against Elder Li, isn't the heaven-old race looking down on our Elder Li too much? A young man from the heaven-suppressing sect shook his head and laughed. The heaven old race will regret it. Everyone, don't be in such a hurry to laugh at him for being young. This is a gamble after all. If the heaven old race loses, they will lose a little nether sun. This is not a child's play. Someone said very seriously, when has the ancient bull demon ever suffered a loss? In the heaven-suppressing sect, many people did not think highly of Ding Zheng, but there were also a small number of people who felt that things were not that simple. They understood the heaven old race quite well and knew that the heaven old race rarely suffered losses. Although there were many beasts in the heaven old race, they were all very experienced. The reason the heaven old race sent Ding Zheng out was definitely because Ding Zheng had sufficient strength, or perhaps he had mastered a strange and powerful ability. Ding Zheng and Elder Li were dozens of meters apart, floating above the ocean. Everyone had also dispersed, waiting for the battle to begin in the distance. Although Elder Li did not think highly of the young man in front of him, he was still extremely cautious. He knew that this battle was not simple, because he understood the ancient bull demon very well. Since the ancient bull demon had used the little nether sun to gamble and even sent out a young man like Ding Zheng, it was obvious that he believed in Ding Zheng's strength. Begin. The ancient bull demon shouted. Ding Zheng was indeed not weak. In the blink of an eye, he had already appeared behind Elder Li. His arm suddenly turned into a very sharp blade. Whoosh! The ferocious and sharp broadsword slashed down, emitting a horrifying sharp whistling sound. Even the space around it fluctuated. Elder Li was indeed worthy of being the leader of the heaven-suppressing sect. He was actually able to dodge that blade strike, but a lot of his long hair had also been chopped off. This caused the people from the heaven-suppressing sect to cry out in alarm. When that kid draws his saber, the cohesion is very strong. Yang Shi, you said, he can concentrate his strongest power on the blade. When he slashed out, if he missed his target, he would immediately retract his power. Qin Yin nodded and said, this saber strike is only relatively loud. That's because the strength of the saber strike is very strong. However, the aura of the saber strike is very small. It's because if the saber doesn't hit its target, it will immediately retract its strength. Lu Yu Shuyan exclaimed in admiration. This guy's control over his power has reached perfection when he attacks. He's very powerful. When they were discussing the contract just now, they had already agreed that they could not use weapons in battle. Although Ding Zheng had a blade, it was not considered his weapon. Instead, it was a blade formed from his arm. This was not considered a violation of the rules. It was the same as a sword cultivator's origin sword. It was a part of his body. Elder Li cursed in his heart, because in this aspect, he had indeed suffered a slight disadvantage. When Ding Zheng's saber missed, he immediately retreated and maintained a distance from Elder Li. He did not want to be killed by the old fox in a few moves. It can be seen that Ding Zheng is still very cautious. Ding Zheng's body is very strange. This guy seems to have transformed into a weapon. Qin Yin used his extinction spirit eye and saw that inside Ding Zheng's other hand, there is a long whip coiled up. Ding Zheng's left hand turned into a long saber, and his right hand suddenly turned into a long whip. Pow! After Ding Zheng's right hand turned into a long whip, he lashed at Elder Li. Elder Li sneered, his body flashed and easily dodged. However, Ding Zheng's long whip seems to have eyes. It chased after Elder Li without letting go. Furthermore, Ding Zheng himself is moving to chase after Elder Li, and the long whip is constantly growing longer. This is equivalent to Ding Zheng having a very long arm. Moreover, he can even whip people or entangle them. Brat, don't be arrogant. Elder Li coldly shouted and pushed his palm towards the long whip that was rushing at him. When Elder Li pushed out his palm, it was neither fast nor slow, but the power is vigorous. This kind of immortal emperor power is extremely terrifying. The palm energy transformed into a 10,000 zhang tall mountain. Accompanied by a ferocious sea wave, it quickly rushed towards Ding Zheng. The long whip that Ding Zheng released was immediately sent flying by the power. His body was quickly enveloped by the palm energy that is like a mountain. Everyone can see that in that instant, Ding Zheng revealed a trace of pain. It can be seen that Elder Li's palm attack is very powerful. Ding Zheng's left hand turned into a long saber and suddenly chopped randomly. In the blink of an eye, tens of thousands of saber images flashed out, accompanied by tyrannical saber energy. All kinds of energy burst out. Elder Li's palm energy also tore apart the tens of thousands of saber images. What caused people to be alarmed is that the sea below was actually torn apart by the saber images and then slowly healed. Elder Li spread his arms, his palms slightly trembled. He frowned, his expression is solemn. After a loud shout, a golden pagoda suddenly appeared. After the golden pagoda appeared, the seawater below immediately rushed in all directions. The power of the huge pagoda poured into the sea and actually caused a deep black pit to appear in the sea. The pagoda, that is like a huge mountain, is formed from powerful energy. It fiercely pressed down. Ding Zheng's movement speed is very fast, but at this moment he is unable to dodge. Because the moment the pagoda appeared, the pressure it produced has already locked his body in place. "Brat, you are still inexperienced," Elder Li said with a sneer. "Heaven-suppressing mysterious pagoda power. This is our heaven-suppressing sex absolute art." Boom! As the pagoda pressed down, the sea waves immediately roared ferociously, setting off monstrous waves. Ding Zheng's body, as if being suppressed by the pagoda, pressed into the depths of the sea. Crash! The pagoda that entered the depths of the sea suddenly exploded. A large amount of seawater rushed into the sky. Everyone released their power to resist the large amount of seawater that rushed into the sky from below. It is as if the seawater is violently pouring into the sky. Moreover, it is accompanied by Elder Li's valiant power. Elder Li slightly sighed and said to the ancient ox devil indifferently, "After a period of time, if that brat still hasn't surfaced, you will be able to go down and fish him out. He should be suppressed by me at the bottom of the sea." At this moment, many heaven-suppressing sect disciples started cheering one after another, unceasingly praising how mighty Elder Li is. Just as Elder Li was feeling proud of himself, a white light suddenly rushed up from the bottom of the sea. Elder Li is extremely alarmed. He did not expect Ding Zheng to actually come up so quickly. He quickly dodged, but his leg was wrapped by a whip. Ding Zheng's arm, transformed into a whip, finally wrapped around Elder Li. He forcefully pulled Elder Li, who was about to escape, back a little. With a splash, Ding Zheng emerged from the sea and simultaneously rushed towards Elder Li, slashing with his saber. While Elder Li is alarmed, he struck out with his palm. A vigorous palm power rushed out and landed on Ding Zheng's chest. What is shocking is that Ding Zheng's body is actually wrapped in two shields. It is as if he is wearing square shields to protect himself. Boom! Ding Zheng's arm transformed into a saber and was unable to slash down from Elder Li's palm power. Moreover, the saber is still bleeding. It is as if it has been torn apart. Elder Li's body was also impacted by the powerful palm power. His body's skin can transform into an extremely strong defensive shield, but at this moment, that shield is also bleeding. It has to be said that Elder Li's strength is indeed terrifying. Ding Zheng looks like he has already been seriously injured, but his arm transformed into a whip is still tightly wrapped around Elder Li's body. What Elder Li did not expect was that Ding Zheng's leg that suddenly kicked out actually turned into a sword. Ding Zheng's legs transformed into long swords. What is terrifying is that Ding Zheng's sword power is very strong. The concentration is extremely frightening. The sword pierced through Elder Li's body. Following that, Ding Zheng swings his leg again. The thigh transformed into a sword and slashed horizontally at Elder Li's waist, cutting more than half of it. Elder Li's defense is also very strong. That is why his waist was not cut in half. Damn brat. Elder Li is enraged. His palms are incomparably ferocious. He quickly pushed out. This time, Ding Zheng quickly circled behind Elder Li. His arm turned into a long whip and quickly extended upwards. binding Elderly's body. Ding Zheng stood behind Elderly. His arm turned into a long saber and rested on Elderly's head. He said coldly, "Do you want me to chop off your head before you admit defeat?" Elderly was so angry that his entire body was trembling. Right now, he didn't dare to resist at all. If he were to risk his life, Ding Zheng also had enough strength to kill him. "I admit defeat." Elderly gritted his teeth and shouted. Although Ding Zheng won, it was not an easy victory. His legs turned into long swords, and although they hit Elderly, in order to break through Elderly's defense, they were also torn apart by that powerful defensive power. Ding Zheng's entire body could be turned into a weapon, but now it was severely damaged. It was all cracked and bleeding. Ding Tianshun and the ancient ox devil immediately flew over to treat Ding Zheng's injuries. "I'm fine, just a small injury." Ding Zheng smiled faintly, but his smile was somewhat forced. Elderly took out a lot of medicine to treat his injured body. He was almost cut in half at the waist. Although he wouldn't die, he would definitely lose in an even more unsightly manner. "Hand over the dragon pearl," the ancient ox devil said. "Don't worry, I'll give it to you." Elderly's expression was extremely ugly as he instructed the elders to take out the dragon pearl. The disciples of the heaven-suppressing sect were all very unconvinced, saying that Ding Zheng was shameless for using so many weapons. Lu Yushuyan said with a sneer, "Elderly, how does your heaven-suppressing sect plan to compensate my Guanghan palace?" They said that they would use the dragon pearl to sacrifice to the heavens, but now the dragon pearl had been won by the ancient heaven race. "Let's wait for Miss Ye to come out before we talk." Elderly was even more furious in his heart. Very quickly, those elders came out with a square golden chest. The chest was more than a meter tall, and there were many powerful Dao Yin runes engraved on its surface. We agreed before that the chest would be given to us as well. The ancient ox devil smiled. "Take it." An elder unhappily tossed the chest to the ancient ox devil. Chapter 1917. The ancient bull demon and some of the elders of the heaven old race were immediately shocked. It was the same for Heavenly Suppression Gate. Only a small number of youths did not know what a divine universe amethyst was. It was just that the younger generation was unfamiliar with the divine universe amethyst. As for the older generation, they all knew what the divine universe amethyst was. Divine universe amethyst, what is that? Is it something as powerful as the divine universe goldstone? A youth asked. It's much more powerful than the divine universe goldstone. How the divine universe amethyst was formed is still a mystery to this day. An elder said, "Those fellows from the natural law divine realm, it's precisely because they have the divine universe amethyst that they are so strong." Elderly looked in Qin Yun's direction and sneered. "How could something like the divine universe amethyst possibly appear in your hands? Moreover, the divine universe amethyst is something that can compare to the dragon pearl, and it might even be more precious than the dragon pearl." Another elder nodded and said, "That's right. Exchanging a divine universe amethyst for a dragon pearl is a huge loss." Ancient Ox Fiend looked at Qin Yun and said, "Little brother, you are not a disciple of Heaven Suppression Gate, right?" Elderly immediately replied, "Of course not. Our heaven-suppressing sect doesn't have such a weak ninth heaven immortal sovereign. Although he's a ninth heaven immortal emperor, he can't pass the test of our heaven-suppressing sect. Even the weakest ninth heaven immortal emperor in our heaven-suppressing sect is stronger than him." Because Qin Yin did not reveal himself, he looked just like that. When Lu Yushuyan saw that someone was looking down on her man, she was secretly angry and sneered. "Elderly, then who do you think you are? You can't even beat a young man from the heaven ancient race. What right do you have to look down on others?" Elderly's body was almost severed by this young man, Ding Zheng, and he was now choked by Lu Yu and Shu Yin to the point that he could not speak. Now, everyone can see that Qin Yun is together with the two women from Guanghan Palace. "Little brother, how should I address you?" the ancient ox demon asked. "I am Qin Yun, sect master of Inscription Gate, nicknamed Honest Qin." Qin Yun cupped his fists towards Ancient Ox Devil and said with a smile. Although Azure Dragon and the others saw their boss in front of them, they didn't say much. Sect Master Qin, you said that you have the Divine Universe Amethyst. Is this true? The Ancient Ox Demon was in disbelief and said with a smile, You actually have such a rare item? This is truly suspicious. Elderly said, Ancient Devil Ox, you have to be careful. This guy might be lying to you. Even old antiques like us who have lived for so long have never seen something like the Divine Universe Amethyst Crystal. Yet he has it. Whoever believes him is a fool. Shut up, Lu Yu Shuyin shouted coldly. Qin Yun ignored Elderly and said to Ancient Ox Devil with a smile, Senior Ox Devil, if you understand the Divine Universe Amethyst Crystal, you would definitely know that this kind of thing is not good to display, so I can't take it out for you to see. Elderly laughed and said, Did you see that? I knew he would say that. The Ancient Ox Devil said, Sect Master Qin, you can sign a soul contract with me to prove that you have the Divine Universe Amethyst. If you don't, then you will die. How about it? All right, but after I prove it, are you willing to exchange with me? Asked Qin Yun. Exchange? I don't think it's good. I don't really like to exchange because if I exchange, it means that I will lose the Dragon Balls I just won. The Ancient Ox Devil said with a smile, I am a rather greedy person. I want the Dragon Balls and also your Divine Universe Amethyst. Then we going to gamble? To tell you the truth, I am just an inscription master. I don't like to fight. Qin Yun sighed. I can tell that you are an inscription master. The runes on your robe are dragon transformation runes. Their level is also very high. Ancient Ox Devil said with mischievous laugh. Although I am an uncouth old man, I still have good eyesight. Elderly snorted and said, Maybe he picked up that robe. The people who are the most unhappy are the people from Heaven-Suppressing Sect. If Qin Yun really has the Divine Universe Amethyst Crystal, then they will die of jealousy. If this kind of good thing falls into the hands of the ancient heaven race, it will make them feel even more uncomfortable. Qin Yun said, I really only want to exchange. I don't want to fight. He was serious because he did not want to have any conflicts with the ancient heaven race. The main reason was also because the Black Rat by Zay and the others were all in the ancient heaven race. The Dragon Pearl was the Divine Universe Evil Dragon's Dragon Pearl, so there must be Divine Universe Amethyst inside. It's just that the Heaven-Suppressing Sect and the others did not discover it. Furthermore, the ancient heaven race is not weak. Ding Zheng is very strong. He could defeat Elderly. And Qin Yun could tell that Ding Zheng had yet to display his strongest power. This was only the level of the ancient heaven race humans. If it was those beast men or beasts, wouldn't they be even stronger? Elder Qin is not good at fighting. You can let someone else do it for you. Ancient Ox Devil looked at Lu Yu, Shuyin, and Yang Shiryu and said, These two ladies are quite strong. If you can persuade them to fight, your chances of winning are very high. Lady Lu Yu, Lady Yang, don't listen to that guy's lies. You all saw it just now. The people from the ancient heaven race are very strong. You are not their match at all. Elderly said, It's only because of me that I can keep my life. If you were to fight, you wouldn't even know how you died. That's right, ladies. It's not easy for you to come here from the immortal desolate land. That guy shouldn't have a good relationship with you, right? There's no need to fight for him. Elder Pang of the Heaven-Suppressing Sect said. Lu Yu Shuyin snorted. He's our man. How can our relationship not be good? As she said that, she and Yang Shiryu stepped forward and stood behind Qin Yun. The people from the Heaven-Suppressing Sect were all stunned. Lu Yu Shuyin was wearing a mask, but everyone knew that the women of the Guanghan Palace were very beautiful. Yang Shiryu did not wear a mask. Her beautiful face captivated many young men of the Heaven-Suppressing Sect. These two beauties were actually the women of sect leader Qin. The thousands of disciples of the Heaven-Suppressing Sect immediately went into an uproar. What was funny was that this sect leader Qin had previously said that his nickname was Honest Qin. The ancient ox devil was also startled. He suddenly felt that the young man in front of him was not simple. To have two women with such high cultivation as companions, it meant that he was very capable. Elder Li and the other elders were speechless. They never expected that such a powerful woman like Liu Shuyan would also have a man. Sect Leader Qin, do you really have divine universe amethyst? The ancient ox devil did not believe it before. He thought that Qin Yun was teasing him. Qin Yun frowned, nodded and said, "All right, let's sign the soul contract. Sister Shuyan, come and fight." If they really sign the soul contract, it means that Qin Yun really has divine universe amethyst. Elderly is somewhat anxious. He suddenly shouted, "Miss Lu Yu, divine universe amethyst can also be used as a sacrifice to the heavens. If we lose, we won't have anything to sacrifice to the heavens. Even if I lose, I won't give it to you," Liu Shuyan said coldly. She was infuriated earlier because the heaven-suppressing sect arbitrarily took out the dragon pearl to gamble. Yang Shiyu also said, "Heaven-suppressing sect, you lost the dragon pearl. Remember to compensate us." This matter can only be discussed after Siekiru comes out. The ancient ox devil also began signing the soul contract with Qin Yun. When signing the contract, the ancient ox devil was very cautious. He requested for beasts to fight. One must know that in the previous battle with the heaven-suppressing sect, they could not send out beasts. "Sure, no problem," Qin Yun agreed. The seniors of the heaven-suppressing sect are all very astonished. If the ancient ox devil wants to send out beasts to fight, it means that he values the opponent very much. However, they can't see how strong Liu Shuyan and Yang Shiyu are. After signing the contract, the ancient ox devil said, "Azure Dragon, after you cultivated the ancient heaven race's secret technique, you have become even stronger. Do you want to test your strength?" A tall and sturdy man suddenly flew to the front and stood beside the ancient ox devil. "To be honest, Azure Dragon is a protector of my inscription gate and also an elder," Qin Yun suddenly said. "Senior ox devil, it's not good for you to send Azure Dragon to fight. The powerful Azure Dragon is actually a member of the inscription gate." The ancient ox devil is immediately alarmed. He looked at Azure Dragon and asked, "Is this true?" "Yes, sir." Azure Dragon also nodded and said, "Lord Ox Devil, boss is a very good person. How about we directly exchange with him?" The people on the heaven-suppressing sect side were stunned. The powerful Azure Dragon that had just shouted was actually a member of the inscription gate. At this time, He Shu, Baizhe, Water Dragon, and Fire Dragon also flew to the front. "Boss!" The four of them all smiled and shouted at Qin Yun. The beasts and humans on the ancient heaven race's side were all astonished. They were very clear about how powerful He Shu, Baizhe, and the three dragons were. They were all very strong inscription beasts, and they were all from the inscription gate. "Sect Leader Qin, you're not being honest." The ancient ox devil laughed. "Under your inscription gate, there are so many experts in my ancient heaven race, but you didn't tell me." "Well, I thought that after joining the ancient heaven race, they wouldn't return to the inscription gate." Qin Yun shook his head and said with a smile, "Although they are all elders of the inscription gate, they can leave the inscription gate at any time." "Boss, we won't leave the inscription gate. We're all planning to go back." The Azure Dragon said, "Of course, we are also from the ancient heaven race because we can find the source of our bloodline here." The ancient ox devil laughed. "Since we've already signed the soul contract, we still have to fight." He turned to look at Ding Tianchun and said, "Old Ding, you do it." Ding Tianchun sighed and said, "Old bull, to be honest, Qin Yun and I know each other." The ancient ox devil was stunned. The people from the ancient heaven race and the heaven-suppressing sect were all somewhat shocked. This time, even the black rat by Zay and the three dragons were shocked. "Old Ding, you're a human elder of my ancient heaven race. You've been the ancient heaven race for so long. How come I didn't know that you knew an expert like Sect Leader Qin?" The ancient ox devil said. "That was many years ago." Qin Yun smiled and cupped his hands at Ding Tianchun. "Teacher Ding, long time no see. Thank you for your teachings back then." Ding Tianchun said with a smile. "Qin Yun, back then, you were able to become a character at such a young age. Now, you are even more incredible. This Ding admires you." He truly admired Qin Yun. Back then, Qin Yun was Yang Shiyu's student, but now, he was together with her. Chapter 1918. Qin Yun said with smile, "This is all in the past. Heavenly Qin Empire no longer exists." Ancient Devil Ox shook his head and said with sigh, "It seems like old Ding can't fight." "All right then, old Hua, you fight." A skinny old man wearing fiery red robe flew over with a smile on his face. "Old Hua, you shouldn't be this sect Master Qin, right?" Ancient Devil Ox said with smile. "I don't know him, but I suddenly want to know him. The dragon transformation runes on his robe are not ordinary. The runes carved by my ancient Heaven Clan's dragon transformation inscription masters are not as natural as the ones on his robe." That old man called Old Hua said with smile to Qin Yun, "Boss, this old man is a fire Qilin. He has fire heavenly rune and Qilin heavenly rune on his body. He is very strong." Azure Dragon said with smile, "When dealing with him, we can use water to restrain him. It is actually a fire Qilin, a very powerful heavenly rune beast." Ancient Devil Ox patted Azure Dragon's shoulder and said with smile, "Shao Qing, you are helping an outsider." He Shu said, "Grandpa Devil Ox, I think it is best to give the dragon pearls to Boss, because he has the 9-dragon heavenly origin formation. Didn't you say that the strongest 9-dragon heavenly origin formation is made from 9 divine universe dragon pearls?" Qin Yun actually has the 9-dragon heavenly origin formation. This caused Ancient Devil Ox and heaven-suppressing sects people to be greatly alarmed. Fire Qilin's expression also became solemn as he said in earnest, "Sect Master Qin, where did you get the divine universe amethyst? Can you tell me a thing or two?" "I got it from Evil Dragon City. Evil Dragon City has already broken the seal. Divine Universe Evil Dragon rushed out of the seal. My inscription sect destroyed Evil Dragon City, defeated 3 heavenly guards, and obtained the Divine Universe Amethyst." Qin Yun said, "Boss, is this true? Did Divine Inscription Mountain come out and get rid of Evil Dragon City?" Bai Zhe said in shock. "Divine Inscription Mountain is very strong now." Qin Yun said with smile, "Once you return to Divine Inscription Mountain, you will know how powerful they are." Elderly rushed over in shock and asked, "Divine Universe Evil Dragon really came out?" Qin Yun said, "Yes, Divine Universe Evil Dragon even released Heavenly Lion King." Heaven-suppressing sect and ancient heaven clans people's faces. "Then what about the Divine Cosmos Evil Dragon?" Elderly asked anxiously. "He ran away. Divine Cosmos Evil Dragon is too strong. Heaven Creation City's Divine Inscription Palace, Nine Yang Divine Palace, and Heaven Creation Divine Palace have all dispatched a large number of experts, but they are still unable to capture it." Qin Yun said, Then what about your 9 dragons' heavenly origin formation?" Elderly asked, "Was it not used?" "I gave my 9-dragon heavenly origin formation to the dragon race from Immortal Desolate. It is not very strong." Qin Yun said again, "Then how did you obtain the 9 dragons' heaven origin formation?" asked the fire Qilin. "Luck," Qin Yun said. Ancient Ox Demon smiled and said, "Headmaster Qin, I hope that no matter who wins or loses, we can all be calm. I want to invite you to visit the Heaven Ancient race." "No problem," Qin Yun said with smile. "Then let's begin." Liu Shuyan was not weak. After all, she was the goddess of death in her previous life. Furthermore, she had grasped the 9-sun world extermination scripture. The world extermination spirit in her body allowed her to unleash powerful destructive power. The fire Qilin smiled and said, "Sect Master Qin, I must win this battle. Please forgive me if I have offended you." Qin Yun retreated far away and said with smile, "You might not win. Don't look down on us humans." Liu Shuyan is wearing a mask. Her beautiful eyes flickered with ice-cold, killing intent. She is the reincarnation of a killing god. The divine position totem on her body allows her to release a very strong killing god power. As long as one has a divine position totem, even if they did not become a god, they would be able to cultivate some weak divine power. Their strength is still very strong. Previously, the moon had a strange change, and a very strong energy appeared in the moon's core. Many disciples of the Guanghan Palace returned one after another and seized the time to cultivate and absorb that energy. Lu Yushuyan absorbed quite a bit at that time. When Qin Yun and Yang Shiyue were on the way here, he could feel that Yang Shiyue's immortal emperor power contained a very special and formidable power. He suspected that it was a type of divine universe power. The Fire Qilin is indeed very confident because his opponent is only a human woman, and the human women he has met are very few powerful. Therefore, he feels that the human woman in front of him is at most at the level of elderly. From the Fire Qilin's point of view, elderly is one of the more powerful humans. As an inscription beast, the Fire Qilin naturally feels that defeating a human is a very easy matter. The Fire Qilin and Lu Yushuyan were 100 meters apart, floating above the sea. The battle was about to begin. The people from the Heavenly Suppression sect had mixed feelings, because regardless of whether Lu Yushuyan wins or loses, they will feel terrible. If Lu Yushuyan wins, she will obtain the Dragon Pearl. Furthermore, the Dragon Pearl was previously in their heaven-suppressing sect, and Elderly had previously argued with Lu Yushuyan over this matter. If the Dragon Pearl were to land in Qin Yun's hands, it would be equivalent to Lu Yu and Shu Yin's hands. Elderly's mood was obvious. If Lu Yushuyan lost, then the divine universe amethyst would fall into the hands of the Heaven Old Race. If the Heaven Old Race obtained the Dragon Pearl and the divine universe amethyst, this would make the people of the heaven-suppressing sect jealous to death. The ancient ox demon shouted, "Begin!" The Fire Qilin did not transform into its true form. It believed that its human form was enough. This kind of powerful god beast was very arrogant. It felt that it was facing the weak, so it did not take the initiative to attack. The Fire Qilin hovered in the air with his hands clasped behind his back. He looked like a skinny old man, but his eyes were filled with a disdainful aura. "Come!" The Fire Qilin smiled proudly. The killing intent on Lu Yushuyan's body was very dense. Everyone could feel it. Everyone was only secretly alarmed by this woman's killing intent, but they did not feel that it was terrifying. After all, a dense killing intent was not a reflection of strength. But after the battle began, Lu Yushuyan's killing intent was completely released. Whoosh! The release of that killing intent transformed into waves of violent astral winds. The sea that had just calmed down suddenly rose and fell. The sudden surge of tyrannical killing intent shocked everyone present and the powerful beasts. This kind of killing intent seemed to be able to destroy the world, as if it could slaughter all living beings in this world. This was the power of the god of slaughter. In that instant, the Fire Qilin was also shocked. He instinctively erupted with violent flames, and in the blink of an eye, he transformed into a mighty red Qilin that was the size of a small mountain. Suddenly changing back to his original form was the Fire Qilin's instinctive reaction. This was because he sensed danger approaching. The kind of danger was a power that could erase his life. Qin Yun could be considered to have experienced Lu Yushuyan's formidable strength. Lu Yushuyan was very clear that if she lost, Qin Yun would lose the precious divine universe amethyst, so she absolutely could not lose. The clear seawater suddenly surged up and turned into a huge black water dragon in the blink of an eye. The water dragon was formed from seawater, but at this time it was black. It was an incomparably black dragon, full of murderous intent, like a crazed, killing dragon. This dragon was the power released by Lu Yushuyan, condensed from a large amount of seawater. Not only was it filled with killing intent, but it also contained a terrifying destructive power. Qin Yun could tell that Lu Yushuyan had used the Nine-Sun World Extermination Scripture. Roar! The black water dragon roared and coiled around the Fire Qilin. Water countered fire, and this was just ordinary water. It was filled with killing intent and destructive power, as well as faint divine power. The Fire Qilin roared loudly, its voice trembling slightly. It was clear that the Fire Qilin was filled with fear. The ancient ox demon's expression turned solemn, while Elder Li's face turned pale. They all thought that Lu Yushuyin's strength could only be considered ordinary. No matter how strong she was, she wouldn't be stronger than a heavenly rune beast. But now, it seemed like she was going to crush the fire Qilin. The black water dragon coiled around the fire Qilin, and the flames on its body were immediately extinguished. Walala! Suddenly, a large amount of seawater rushed into the sky. In the blink of an eye, a large black water ball condensed in the sky. This water ball is like a large star floating in the sky. It is several tens of thousands of meters wide. Lu Yushuyin released berserk energy and condensed it inside the black water ball. Such a large thing is floating in the sky. Moreover, it is releasing waves of killing intent and world extermination power. If it smashed down, its might can be imagined. Lu Yushuyin's beautiful eyes turned purple-red. This is her form when she entered a state of slaughter. When Qin Yun saw Lu Yushuyin's purple-red eyes, he suddenly recalled that the divine universe amethyst has this kind of purple-red color. He cannot help but be alarmed in his heart. It seems like I was thinking too much. The black water dragon released by Lu Yushuyin coiled around the fire Qilin, causing it to roar again and again. The fire Qilin's power originates from flame. However, it is currently unable to release flame. This is the sea. There's a large amount of water. It is very disadvantageous to the fire Qilin. The ancient ox demon blamed himself for underestimating the enemy. He actually sent the fire Qilin to fight in this kind of environment. Otherwise, he would not have been suppressed. The black water ball condensed in the sky became bigger and bigger. Everyone began to retreat. Is this the power of nine-sun world extermination scripture? Qin Yun can sense an incomparably dreadful world extermination power. It is as if the sun is about to smash down. The ancient ox demon gritted his teeth and shouted, "Stop! We concede." Lu Yushuyin immediately retracted her hand. The destruction power inside the black water ball returned to her body in a short while. Lu Yushuyin's eyes returned to their beautiful and clear appearance. The seawater fell down like a heavy rain. The black water dragon coiling around the fire Qilin suddenly dispersed. After the fire Qilin returned to human form, his face is filled with fear. If you agree to bet, you must accept defeat. The ancient ox demon let out a long sigh and threw out a square golden box. You still haven't warmed it up? Let me warm it up first, then it won't be too late. The fire Qilin said with a regretful expression. It's all my fault, otherwise I wouldn't have lost. Lu Yushuyin took the box and said to Elderly with smile, Elderly, this dragon pearl was obtained by Sect Master Qin. It is not in my Guanghan Palace's hands. You must remember to compensate my Guanghan Palace for our losses. Elderly is angered to death. He never expected that the dragon pearl would end up in Lu Yushuyin's hands. After Qin Yun obtained the dragon pearl, he said to the ancient ox demon with smile, Senior Ox Demon, I only wanted to exchange it first. It was you who insisted on gambling with me. Sect Master Qin, don't say any more. I regret it to death. The ancient ox demon laughed at himself. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.